Right.
My brother talks like that a lot.
I talk like that every day. Are we all good? Are we all set? Are we all ready? If you're not, don't say anything. Townie's busy. He's got somebody accompanying him. Or food. Ordering KFC. Wow, it's a good night for food tonight. He went to a steakhouse.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I had Mackie D's. Tony's getting KFC. Sergio?
I made myself a nice salad.
Okay. There has to be one healthy one among us. We can't all be fat, greasy people. Alright, breakout here at the moment. I'm glad I've got shadow tied it. And Granny, what did you have?
Chicken korma and rice.
I love how every session started with us discussing what we've eaten.
Hey, why not? It's got to start somewhere. So, recap. Last session. Or just general. Half the party woke up in this unknown, abandoned, not really abandoned, mine that turned out to be an excavation site for an old ruin. They were captured somehow with darkness and sleep and brought to these cells, which was guarded by a dragonborn. After a brief discussion with the dragonborn, on which the guard gave in very quickly, and let them out of the cages. Cages, cells, whatever you want to call them. There was a little bit of fighting with some other guards and some dude called the Overseer. The band, the group, whatever we want to call them for now, escaped with two other prisoners that they helped. An old man called Thomas and a young man called Maxwell. Well done. I remember the second name, not the first one. And they made their way through the woods towards the village of Rogar. On the way, though, they were hunted by a ravenous pack of wolves, which they managed to fight off, killing all but one as it slunk back into the woods to most likely die in pain due to excessive bleeding.
No, that was the one that I scared off.
Yeah, but it was badly wounded when you did so, unfortunately. Yeah, and then the party eventually made it back to the made it to the village of Rogar, delivering the two prisoners that they had rescued, and they met Rogar, who was the innkeeper and also the founder of the village. And that is pretty much, after some little conversation here and there, that is pretty much where we are up to right now. So, party, group, companions, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm thinking from the discussions that we had last session and thinking about it actually, because we don't really have any money or anything that will help us in terms of we can't really buy anything to help us, so it's all going to be about finding stuff. I think and I think we agreed on Discord we should just head straight to the mine.
Yeah.
So, does everyone think that is a good idea?
Yeah.
Yep. Before they can bring reinforcements back and everything.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Alright then. So, I say to, upon agreeing that, I say to the people we're with at the tavern, we're going to go back and we're going to go see if we can find what the Overseer and his party were looking for, and we'll let you know if we see anything.
Well, okay, you carry on, sir.
and upon saying that, if we don't make it back, then I have no idea.
Well, if you don't make it back, I'm sure you'll likely be dead. Or imprisoned. Let's just go with imprisoned, but probably dead. And on that light note, is there anything you need for your travels before you go?
Well, depends.
Might
what you-
need pickaxe or a shovel or something like that.
Okay, what do you reckon you'll need those sort of tools for?
Pickaxe in and shovel in.
Yeah.
No, because
Can't argue with the
one of-
logic
one
there,
of
can
us
I?
said that, being a cave in or something where you were digging.
Oh, that's who we're talking to. We're not talking to the innkeeper. They're all the,
Wait,
the
I
voices.
thought-
I don't
I
know.
thought we were talking to the innkeeper.
I thought it was.
Well, Maxwell and Thomas are in there somewhere, just
Yeah.
recovering
Yeah.
and. Yes. We did say that. Yes, that's true. We did. It took out most of the labour that was already working on it previously, which, from our point of view, was good because they're a horrible bunch of set of bastards, to be honest with you, and we were glad to be rid of them. But yeah, there was a cave in. The roof, it just fell right on top of them. But yeah, it's been, a day or two since we've been there, and who knows what that overseer has been up to while we've been away. I mean, with any luck, he's buggered off, but you never know, there was something he was desperate for.
So, how many pickaxes or shovels would you be able to spare us?
Well, I ain't got any, I've just got back here for, real guys like...
Wasn't the pickaxes at the place? I remember passing them.
You might be right about that.
Yes, there was a stash of them in one of the storerooms that you spent a bit of time digging around in.
Might as well
Okay.
just get those then.
Yeah, so we can just get them when we're there.
Alright then. Well-
Before we go, I'm just gonna say to the innkeeper, I found this silver skull. Well, I wired silver skull, and I just folded up all these pieces of paper and all the notes that I've taken. So, will you look after these and keep them safe till we come back, if we come back?
Well, I'll certainly try my best. I think I've got somewhere I can hide them. Is it something... I mean, is it something you want kept secret? Or is it something I can have a look through in the meantime? It could be something interesting. Do you need me to do a bit of research for you while you're away?
Well, if you would like to, I mean, I have no idea what this silver skull is, because at the moment I can't detect magic or anything like that. But yeah, these notes are basically notes on what I've taken from various things that they asked me to study. And I picked a load of stuff up from the overseer's office, just off his desk.
He just grabs the skull, holds it up a little bit, just looks into it. It's like, alas! No, I don't think I knew this one. Just puts it down on the bar. It's like, arr. I don't know why you said arr, but arr. I'll certainly see what I can come up with. I mean, just having a look at it, it looks like your regular skull, maybe made out of a bit of silver. I'll have a word with Eva, see if she knows any different. But absolutely, I'll see what I can figure out for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so is there anything else you need before you go?
I don't think so, unless.
I mean, it's probably about lunchtime, so if you want a bite to eat.
Lunch?
Food.
Lunch will do.
What have you got?
Let's see. What's just wanders back into the kitchen just to see what's on the menu. I don't really.
I mean, I can't eat. I'm a warforged, but you guys go ahead.
You are first, didn't realise.
Yeah,
Looks
totally buy that.
Looks.
Inside.
Okay, we got some baked fish with some fresh veggies.
Well,
You have a
sounds-
vegetarian option.
Yeah, you got some fresh veggies.
That'll do. That'll do.
Okie dokie then. I'll bring out a selection. I'll keep them all separate. I'll bring out some fish and I'll bring out some veggies. Get yourself sat round table and then I'll fetch it over to you. We'd like some drinks to go with it as well. Obviously not too strong, because if you're heading back there, you want to keep your wits about, you know, don't you?
Yeah.
Veg table hype.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Go, then.
What was that?
Okay. You grab a table?
Yes, I
Can we
pick
take
it
it
up.
with us,
I
or-
pick it up and take it outside.
Make a strength
Great
check.
minds think alike.
Get yourself sat down at one of the tables and I'll fetch the food over for you. These were caught fresh today by our local fisherman that we got living here in town. Erman and his brother Ivan. So you gonna go grab a seat?
Yeah.
Okay, fetches all the food, plonks down a plate, about 4 decent sized fish, nicely baked, flesh peeling away, lovely, perfectly white, meaty, yum yum, salivating just thinking about it. And then a couple of bowls of random veg that just plonks down, some cabbage, carrots, potatoes. You know, your usual stock stuff.
Can't go wrong with a good carrot.
Exactly. Plonks down a couple of mugs of ale and water. Pitcher of water with some just sort of clay tankards. Empty ones for you, depending on what you want. Right. Eat up. Get your strength back. And then, yeah, you can set off on your way and find out what's going over there, because I don't fancy having that thing loitering over our village. Not if they keep stealing our people from us, or if that's their plans anyway. Hey ho har. No, not at all. I know, I picked some random ones, did I? So yeah, sat down, eating away.
Just pull out take a piece of fish off my plate and bit to Nick.
Oh, the Fae Familiar.
Meow, meow.
Is it a cat? Oh, I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Picnic's
yeah,
the cat,
Lost
yeah.
basket.
Picnic's the cat.
Harold.
Harold's
Harold.
the
Harold?
Harold's outside scavenging for mice and stuff.
Yeah,
You
that's gonna be the joke.
Dirty old owl.
Harold?
Harold?
So yeah, Picnic just pads up onto the table with one quick jump. Just pads across. Nibble, nibble, nibble.
I pet Picnic.
Picnic's paws clean, or is it getting the table all dirty?
It's very clean.
That's good.
Don't really
I
know much
just-
about.
I'm just gonna stand because I'd be worried about breaking any chairs that I sit on. And of course, I don't need to eat or drink. So.
As Titan walks over. Ed 209 style.
Except less threatening.
Well, I mean, Picnic tries her best. I'm guessing it's she, Granny.
Yeah.
Yeah, tries her best to feed on the fish, but her spirit form
Just phases.
just kind of yeah is not
Spirit fish.
yeah exactly able to eat it as well, but makes the effect as if doing so.
Just eats the ghost of the fish.
Yeah. So yeah, mealtime is yours to decide with as you see fit.
Yoda, I am.
So how long did it take us to get back from the mine last we came back?
It, like I say, it's around midday. It was about 10 miles out from what you could figure.
So basically, one day's travel roundabout.
I mean, you can do about 24 miles a day, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Alright then.
Standard travel,
Okay.
3 mile an hour.
Good, because that means I can keep my +1 bonus to my armor.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't matter if we get there at night time because it's going to be dark underground anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You could do us if we get there at night time. It might make us a bit more stealthy, to be honest.
Yeah.
You
No
lot?
one expects the nighttime inquisition.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects
We're
a
gonna
stealthy
We're
titan.
gonna put bubble wrap on the bottom of him. Remember?
Oh, yes, of course. Okay. So you finish your meals, you nick your drinks. Feeling
Could you all
definitely.
describe to me what that how the taste feels, because I don't know how tasting food feels.
Yummy.
How do you actually describe tasting food?
So,
I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this one.
so pretty much when you eat, you put food in a hole in your face and you make it mush, and then you put it down a tube and it goes into your stomach. That's eating in a nutshell.
That sounds rather revolting.
Yeah,
You
but-
ever, like,
yeah,
have
it may
to, like-
sound it, but it tastes amazing.
You have to like oil.
well, I
things.
presume because you're
yeah.
talking, you've got a mouth. So
That's
why
not
don't
voice
you?
box.
Yeah, like Alexa.
Why don't you take a carrot and see if you can chew on it,
Just
swallow
shove it
it,
in.
and see what happens?
So I take a carrot, and then with my head I kind of crush it against my neck and my chin, and then it just collapses.
I'll,
So
I'll,
put it in your mouth.
yeah, like this, and I grab a
So I'll put
carrot
it
and
in
just
for
go
him.
whole.
Okay, so I try to do so. I put it against my face, and then but because Titan doesn't have much of, yeah, I suppose. So the jaw kind of opens, and then it kind of bites down, but it just goes straight through his neck and out again. Is that's my design?
That's how it works.
Yeah, like a hollow jaw type thing.
Yeah.
So you just see this mess of crushed carrot on the floor, and just a bit dangling off where the top of the armor is on Titan.
I bend down and I clean this up. And then, well, I'm not trying that again.
I feel like every session we need to give Trojan experience that everyone else
Trojan?
has.
Trojan?
No, not Trojan.
Titan.
Titan.
I guess. Trojan.
Trojan's the name of a warlord in my other campaign from last night.
He opens up his belly and 6 goblins jump out.
I was just gonna say, you just filled with 20 people.
I'm getting my combatants mixed up.
Oh, it's
So,
easy for us, we only have one.
It's like, our been
we-
discovered.
Shall we get some action going, guys? Then.
Yep.
All right. So, I start
fighting each other.
I say to the tavern keep. Well, I will hopefully we'll be back soon. To what's his name? The
Rogar.
Rogar. I say to Rogar, well, I will see you next time.
Aye, I hope you have jolly good fun down there. Take care though, of course, take care. You be careful. You don't set foot if you don't think you can handle whatever it is down there, okay?
We won't.
And before you go,
Alright.
that's 15 silver and 23 I'm only teasing with you. Go away with you now.
Alright, so
Never make a coin in this bloody village, I tell you.
off we go then. Unless anybody has any disagreements, the party heads to the mine.
Yeah, it's not really else much to do here, is there?
Yeah, Zenria and Hasbin are like, excuse me, no, we'll come with you. I was tempted to leave them at home, but I think they can be silent partners on this one, just in case.
Watch them both get knocked down.
Exactly.
Foreshadowing.
Toddling.
Toddling away. So, who's taking the lead?
Me.
Well, I mean, I would offer, but unless anyone else wants to.
Would.
I feel like Henry probably would.
Well, I don't know. I told you silent partner today.
I'll take the lead, won't
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
we go.
Yeah, we
And
need a
I'll-
fighter in front.
I will go in third. Well, I mean, if we're walking on the path in a straight line, then I'll go third.
There's no path.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
Well,
Whoever's taking the
Okay.
lead is going to try and find the way back there.
okay.
If we're tracking through nature, then I might be a good choice.
I'll
I'll go second.
send Harold up into when we get to the forest, into the treetops so he can guide us.
Harold?
Harold? Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yeah, I'll go second.
So, flies off ahead of you. It takes you a couple of miles before you get to where the forest starts. It's still, as you remember it, sunshine coming through the canopy. It's, early afternoon now. It didn't take too long, just less than an hour to get to the edge of the forest. So, who's leading us in?
If no one else is gonna, then I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense actually if it's a forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I was
I'll go
thinking.
right behind.
Yeah, probably a good choice. Go in.
I'll go third.
So if you're going to try and lead the way, if you want to make a survival check for me.
Okay, that is a 17.
Okay.
And
You
I rolled an 11.
survival's pretty good then. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. You picked a good leader here. So as Ember heads on in front, she's got a fairly good idea of which way you guys originally came, because you weren't trying to hide it at all. So as you, I mean, the forest isn't that wide, but you roughly know where you came out of it. So after a couple of maybe 10-15 minutes spent having a look around, you're like, ah, this looks like where we came out. You can see a few tracks from broken branches and twigs and things. You weren't trying to hide your tracks, especially after the ambush of the wolves trying to get your way out of there quickly. So yeah, you make a good distance, 3 or 4 hours into the woods. It's about early evening, late afternoon now. The sun's just overhead because you're now heading back east. So which way did we say? Yeah, that's right. So the sun is now behind you, casting deep shadows through the forest. If you'd like to make another survival check for me.
That's a 13.
13. Okay. It's getting a little bit more confusing now. The light is starting to dim slightly. You think you're possibly, what should we say, about halfway through the forest at this point. You're not 100% sure which way. Go on.
Right. I'll just say to Ember, if you're unsure which way you're going, I can send Harold up to have a scout around for us.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll gesture to Harold to go and have a scout towards where we need to go.
Towards where you need to go. So you're pointing
Yeah.
towards where you need to go.
Yeah.
How do you convey this to Harold with your Harold speak, as it were?
Yeah.
Just full on sign language.
Yeah. Tap him on his toes.
Mm-hmm.
Just say. Mine.
Yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So Harold
Arrow.
swoops off. You see him disappear as tail feathers disappear through the leaves up ahead. Are you just waiting for him to come back and see what he can see above the woods, or
Yeah.
what is it? Right, okay. Do you want to make a perception check for Harold?
Arrow.
What's his perception?
Don't know, you tell me, it's your pet.
Let me see. His perception is +3, so if I roll mine and then just add 1 on it, is that okay?
Eh?
His perception is +3.
Yeah, just roll a d20 and add 3.
Right.
Hasn't he got,
Right. Then,
like,
well,
What advantage?
yeah, like advantage, because is it keen eyes?
so that's
or keen
10.
sight?
Keen hearing and sight. Yeah, he's got advantage on perception checks, so he can roll again.
Yeah. Stick with the 10.
Okay. after maybe 5-10 minutes, swoops back, lands on your shoulder, sort of head swiveling a little bit. Now he's back with you. Kind of lost his bearings, but he eventually points in a direction for you to follow.
Right.
And
I'll just tap
Ember kind of agrees.
Tap Ember on the shoulder and point in that direction I think he wants us to go.
Ember? Belac was talking to you. Stop looking up for gifts. You've got a rough direction.
Cool, let's go that way.
Roll intensifies. Where did you find that?
I just searched Harold.
Hey, Tony. Gifts are for gift spam, thank you very much. Okay, so... There we go. You start moving out again. Another 2 or 3 hours pass. You're still in the forest. It's getting dark now. Sun's disappeared into the horizon. Anybody providing any light?
Yes.
What light are you providing?
Flames.
Produce flames in the middle of the forest. Cool.
Being very careful.
So you're just there with a
Just like,
a flaming ball in your palm.
yeah.
Yeah, lighting the way. So it's dim light, but for those of you that have dark vision, it provides a little bit of extra. Basically, it's like having a torch, really. So after another, well, like I say, after that 2-3 more hours, it's dark. Still in the forest. Do you want to make another survival check?
Ooh, that's pretty good. That is 22.
22. Now you get to a little bit of a clearing. Not as much as when you fought the wolves. You don't seem to have found that one. You've missed it completely. Looking up, you're like, right, I recognise these stars. I think it's this way. And you get your bearings again. And you know which way to head.
That's a good dice. I'm keeping that one out.
Okay. So you're going to carry on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm scared now.
No need to be scared. So, after another 2 hours, you can see the moon's nice and high. You just break out the edge of the forest. Starting to feel a little bit tired at this point. Because we're talking, what? Maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night. And you've maybe got another couple of miles to go.
I think we should just stop.
You can see the rough area where you think the mine was, but obviously there's no light from this distance.
Want to just set up camp here for the night?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay then, let's do that.
Don't sound so enthusiastic about it.
Oh, he don't get tired, does he?
Yeah, well, that and if we take a long rest now, I'm gonna lose my +1 bonus to my chainmail.
Oh no! So that'll
I
put you
thought
down.
we-
That'll put you down to what?
19.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh
dear.
no! Oh
Yeah,
no!
right.
I thought we was just going for it, like using the night as like cover. Or was that me?
Yeah,
just
but I mean, the
thinking?
Yeah,
thing
that's
is, we
true.
don't want to be getting into a fight if we do with a bit of exhaustion or something, do we?
Okay,
Great.
okie dokie.
So what's your plan?
Alright.
You're
I
gonna
mean,
set up camp.
we can take a short rest. We don't have to take full 8 hours.
Yeah, I think that
Just
might
like a little nap.
Well, it depends if you want a long rest. It's 6 minimum, and that's it. But I mean, you can, by all means, you can press on. It's up to you guys. I'm
Well,
just
look,
setting,
can we go
setting the
before we
scene
check
for you.
exhaustion?
It's a good question. Let me have a look. It's not something I really thought about.
I mean, you guys decide, because I won't. As I say, I don't need to sleep. I won't get exhausted, but if you guys don't want to risk it, then we should go ahead and take a long rest.
To be fair, I don't think there's a specific rule for it. So I would say if you go, maybe for you, flesh life characters, for want of a better expression, you could after you've had a long rest.
Organic characters.
Organics, there you go.
That's a better
For the organics, I would say you could maybe go 24 hours. If you've had a long rest the previous night, I would say you can go 24 hours.
So we should be okay then.
I'm the synthetic life form. They're the organic
Indeed.
life forms.
I might need to
Okay.
do a little bit more work, but for the terms of tonight, you've had a good night's rest. I mean, you weren't prisoners for very long, so you've not been malnourished or anything like that. You're possibly starting to get a little bit hungry now, but
We've
you've got
to
rations,
chew,
so yeah.
chew on, yeah.
So if you want to have a nibble on some rations, make sure to mark them off your inventories.
Not me. I don't need to eat.
Well, we will certainly find something that you do need. Okay. So you're
Okay.
pressing on? Okay.
Yep.
How are you? You just going to carry on regular style? You're going to sneak?
Well, I think we're okay till we get close, and then I think we should start sneaking once we get close.
Sneaking? Ooh, hobby streak 75 today, isn't it?
Okay.
Right. Like I say, a couple of miles out, so takes you maybe another 20 minutes of walking. Moonlight beaming down on you as a couple of clouds just pass by overhead. Plenty of stars in the sky. Nice and quiet, quite serene, really. After another 10-15 minutes, you start to see the rough area where you came out of the ruins. Another 10 minutes, a bit closer, you can see the opening which leads down underground. The dim glow from inside from the torches that lined the walls is still there. So now you can see the opening. It's maybe a couple 5-minute walk from where you are now.
Are we gonna sneaky?
That's sneaky.
Okay, let's get a group.
I mean, if you want to sneaky, then I should probably stay behind and wait for you to give me the signal that it's clear.
Actually, yeah.
Are you incapable of sneaky?
No,
Unless
it's just
it's covered in bubble
disadvantage
wrap.
because I'm wearing chainmail.
Disadvantage isn't an automatic fail, just saying. And it's going to be a group check, so it's entirely
I've
up
got
to you.
chainmail, so.
Oh dear. Oh dear. What about Zenria?
Yeah, chainmail.
That's what we should call our group name, the Chainmail Gang.
Why do you wear chainmail?
Yes.
Right, you've got
Just made of leather.
you've got disadvantage as well then.
It's leather chains.
Okay, so who's going and who's not?
I
Paper chainmail.
am.
Nom nom nom. Chicken,
Bottle
chicken, chicken.
cap chainmail.
Well, I guess I'm going as well then.
Yeah.
Right, whoever's going, make your stealth checks. Has been.
Nat 20. 21.
Okay, you're right there.
4.
4. Okay. Natural 20 on a group check. Counts as 2 passes. Has been. Let's do a roll for has been. Ooh, that's a good roll for has been. Okay, so what do we got? So yours was the 9, wasn't it, Scion?
Yeah.
Are you taking Zenria too?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's have a look. Music's very muted at this point. Zenria. Let's do a disadvantage roll on that one. Oof. Oof. So, we have a 19, a 7, a 9, a 4, and
21.
nat 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5 of you going, and you're definitely not going tight in.
I will stay back and wait for their signal.
Have you agreed on the signal?
A whistle.
Yeah,
Emma's really
that'll
good
do.
at whistles.
Yeah, so... Okay. So as you creep forwards as best you can, trying to muffle the jingle of chainmail against scales and chainmail against sweaty flesh.
It's just confirmed that sounds just exceptionally sweaty all
Yeah.
the time.
You eventually, it takes you about twice as long, you eventually get to the mouth of the cave. Doesn't seem as if anybody's noticed, if anybody is in fact there.
Okay, let's go without. I give a whistle.
Just quietly lift Harold off my shoulder and perch
Okay.
him outside the cave.
Sort of ruffles his feathers a bit. I'm just gonna perch him on the floor.
Well, he'll just go and fly off and land somewhere safe.
Okay. Flies off in the direction you just came from towards the woods and trees. You can see his head swiveling side to side. See if you can see anything as he starts to circle around a little bit. What's your plan?
I give the whistle.
So you've stealthed all the way over there, and now you let out a shrill, sharp whistle.
Yeah, 'cause we know it's safe.
From what you can see,
Alright.
you think it's safe. So yeah, they let out the whistle. You know they have arrived.
I heard over. Non-stealthily.
Okay. That's just the sound of Titan running.
Say, that's just him walking.
Right, let's change up the music. Okay. So all 6 of you are now assembled outside. What are you doing?
Well, I'm not being funny, but I am not going first because I am squishy.
No.
I will also. Go,
Alright, in that
the
case, the tanky characters should go first, or rather the fighty characters, and that does include me.
Some of you have the maps for this place already,
Yeah.
so you know the general
I,
layout.
So maybe I should go first because I'm tanky and I have the map. Me,
Such as Zenria, yes.
and then Belac, kind of in the middle.
I'll
Can I go for Bella?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
go
tanky.
behind. I'll go behind him.
So the 3
Alright.
fighters at the front, and then the 3 squishies at the back.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, well, I think. So what we do is we head to, and just bear with me a moment while I bring up said map. Here it is. Right. So we head in. We turn left.
Okay, so
We
you're
head
walking down
south.
the main
Past the
corridor,
cells. Yep, past the cells.
past the 2 guards' chambers.
Cells, yeah.
No, not cells. Guards'
Oh,
quarters.
gotcha. We
Yeah.
turn left, go down that corridor.
Okay, so as you pass the guards' quarters, you see both doors are open. Doesn't seem to be anything. Do you want to just make a perception check as you're going past?
Okay.
As you were in such a rush.
Not rushing. Anyway, that is a 19.
You don't seem to hear anything coming from there, at least. So you carry on past the guards' quarters.
Yep.
Still
turn
well lit,
left.
flickering lights from the torches on the walls. Turn left, down the next
Goes
long
down that
corridor,
Yep. And
past
then
the
wh-
corridor to the overseer's
Yeah.
office.
And then when we get to the next left turn, we take it.
So you go past, you see the wooden barricades all sort of hastily stacked up on your right hand side against this mouth of a cave. You're not sure why, but there's a load of wooden stakes and it just looks like some sort of crude wall just jammed into place. A load of what would normally be holding the walls and the roofs just lined up to make some sort of wall of some kind.
Do you think this is to keep things out or to keep something in?
I mean, I feel like we should stay on task and go to the ruin first, and then maybe we can come back and look at that.
Yeah.
So you head left past the no, yeah. Head left
And then
down
you-
the next corridor.
Yeah.
Then it
don't
branches
take-
in 4 different ways. So that it
Yeah,
heads
I-
straight towards the ruins. There's a dead end to your right.
And we
just-
head straight towards the ruins.
Straight towards the ruins.
Yes.
Okay. All in agreement?
Yes.
Okie dokie then. So, as you get to the ruins, you can see cracked walls all over. There are, from the main corridor, the main dirt corridor that's been dug out, there's 2 ways you can go. You can carry on going straight forwards down this. It's sort of, the dugout corridor turns into a walled corridor, which is now part of the ruins. It's as if the actual mine themselves have been dug straight into a stone corridor within the ruins. So there's one going straight in front of you in the direction the corridor took you, or there's one off to your left which heads north. All the same, you see bits of rubble strewn down the side of the walls. It's like these ruins, as per your research, has been here for a long time now.
Now, those stairs that we can see in the map, are they going up or are they going down?
You don't know.
Alright, I
I
think
don't know,
we should...
because I can't find the map, so I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I think we should head to those stairs, because I feel like that's going to be our way into the center. So we head north,
Okay.
and then when we get to the corner, we turn right and head east.
You hope.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is now the torchlight. There's nothing in these ruins now. It's completely dark. The torchlight is behind you, back in the actual caverns themselves. Not caverns. Tunnels that are dug out. So
Use flames.
those of you without dark vision, Ember just conjures up a flame on her hand so that you can see in some dim light now. As you're winding your way through these cracked stone walls all around you, you can see there's gaps in the ceiling above. We're talking 8 to 10 feet up now. Enough that Titan can fit comfortably down here. The walls maybe 10 feet either side from you. So a nice 10-foot wide corridor with gaps occasionally with bits of dirt and roots coming through the broken walls. You make your way down, turn to the right, now pointing east towards. You see these stairs. It looks as if once upon a time it may well have led upwards, but about 2 or 3 feet up they're just broken and cracked and collapsed, and whatever was further up is now just stone and dirt and just rubble all down. So there's nothing that you can see heading upwards. The stairs maybe led that way once upon a time, not anymore.
So there wouldn't be anything past there even if we did take it.
Well, I think we should head
You do know?
towards where the lights are, because that would be where they were digging before. I mean, I never
Alright.
went down there, so I don't know.
Okay, then we do a 180 and we head back then and go the other way.
Okay, so as you make your way back towards where the main dugout tunnels of the mine are, the light starts to come back a bit more. You can see things clearly again. The dirt's all over the floor. You take a left, heading back to the east, following the direction of the original tunnel now. The dirt on the floor starts to fade away as the stones from the ruin, the stone paving, becomes more apparent, and the walls, cracked and crumbled around the entrance from this corridor, start to look a bit more solid. And then you get to the corner, it turns left. And you stop. Okay.
Oh, I thought that I thought you were going to carry on.
No?
Always
Wanna know
waiting
what
for
you do?
description.
Alright, so okay, so we carry on then.
Okay. You get a little bit further down. Looks as if some of the rubble of the walls has collapsed down. There's a little bit of a barrier there, maybe 1.5, 2 feet high, sort of semi-blocking the way down the corridor.
Okay. This is where I feel like we're gonna need to because this is a dead end unless we dig through it, isn't
And
it?
to the left, what would have been the wall, you can see there's a bit of a crumbled corner that you can see through into another room. It's maybe about a foot wide. So maybe
Does it
some.
look like it's been dug by a human hand or a pickaxe or something?
No, to be fair, it looks. If you make a quick investigation check for me.
Okay.
I want help.
All right, with advantage then. And that
And an extra
is
belch?
Yes, that is a 9.
Okay. Is clever Warforged this. You can't see any signs that anybody would have dug this. It does look as if the passage of time has caused this collapse in this wall, but you can see through with the brief little bit of flickering light from Ember into what looks like a larger chamber inside there. Might be enough for somebody small to get through at the moment, but it doesn't particularly look as if it will take a lot to widen the hole as such.
Right. I turn around and say to the others, looks like we're going to need some pickaxes.
Cool.
So I turn back and I head to the storage room where I can see some pickaxes on the floor, and I take one of the pickaxes and I come back.
Can I take some water as well? Like, did you say there was barrels of water in the storage room?
Barrels of water, yeah. Do you want to take a barrel of water?
Yeah, I can roll it.
They're not sealed.
Well, is there a lid anywhere?
Have a look for one.
Like,
Make a perception
okay.
check.
I will.
You do that.
Perception. That's a 12.
12. Yeah, some of the other barrels in the room have lids on them.
And I'll take a lid off one of them ones, see if it's not
Okay.
a water barrel, and put on the water barrel.
Right, with a bit of effort, you force it up. They're nailed shut, so you force the lid up, bring it over, put it back onto the other one. I mean, it's a loose fit. There is a couple of hammers lying in the piles of tools around as well. If you want to
Yeah, I'll hammer it down.
spend a bit of time hammering it down, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Eventually, takes you about 5-10 minutes. You get the lid nailed onto this barrel of water.
Right, and then
For
I'm
what?
gonna roll it down to where the man is, you know, like that end we found.
Where the ruins are.
Yeah.
Okay. Just make an athletics check. Just see if you can, how easily you can tip this barrel over.
13.
Yeah, it's fairly safe bet, to be fair. They're not that big. They're maybe about 2 or 3 feet high, so it comes up to your waist. You just, with a bit of a heave, tip it over. You can hear it sloshing about inside. It's a wooden lid, nailed shut, so it's not particularly sealed. So you can see just trickles of water just escaping from the lid that you've hastily nailed on. But it's not pouring out by any means as you roll this barrel towards the group.
Cool.
So
What
while
got
he's
there?
doing that, I bring my
Wrath.
pickaxe to the wall that leads to the other room, and I start chipping away at it.
Okay. While everyone stood around.
So I'm as strong as a flea.
Agreed.
Okay, do you want to make an athletics check on your handiwork for me?
Okay then. 22.
Yeah, you grab this pickaxe, one rather large warforged hand, and just bring it down into this crumbling wall. And with the first hit, you just half of it just crumbles in, and about another 2 feet of opening in the corner of this wall just falls in. Dust, rubble, rocks all over the floor in front of you. Big plume of dust just billows up from the floor as it coats you all in it.
Yeah.
And while that's happening, you just see Scion in the distance rolling this barrel of water, leaving a bit of a trickle in his wake as he's rolling it towards you.
Oh my god. What? Why?
Scion, why do you have a barrel of water?
Don't worry.
It's my bro!
Got a plan.
What plan is that?
It's my brother.
You'll see. You'll see.
Is this going to hurt us as well?
No.
Oh, just leave him.
He's happy.
It's a water thing. It's a water thing in me, Bobby. So I might have to stand in it to do whatever he
Oh,
has.
water's making me Bobby, yeah.
He
Okay.
stands in it and
No,
he gets
that's
unlimited power.
Have you ever seen the movie The Abyss?
I hear you.
I have heard the name before. I haven't seen it though.
Liam Phil.
Yep.
Right, so, can I fit through now that I've pickaxed? this
Yeah,
wall and this
you've
crumble?
made it a lot wider now.
Okay.
With a bit of effort, you can now squeeze your frame sideways on through. As you do so, a few more chippings and a bit more rubble fall and scatter across the floor
Alright then. So I head through.
as
then.
you continue leading the way. So
Yeah.
go on.
What can I see now?
That depends. Have you got dark vision? Is Ember with you?
I am.
Are you off to sleep?
No.
What's down there?
It's a throne.
Oh, okay. Just wonder what you were staring at down there.
And also the knolls.
As you now make your way into this large chamber within the ruins, you can see dampness sort of trickling down a couple of the parts, a couple of the parts of the actual walls itself. There's a bit of mould and things around, rubble all over the place. There's 4 broken statues sort of in the corners of this room, depicting strange figures that are not quite recognizable to you. They're once elaborately carved figures eroded by the passage of time or damaged in some other way.
Can I have a look at the statues, see if I recognise anything that might, from their features or whatever?
I was thinking of doing that as well, so I'll give advantage.
Of course you will. Go for it. Investigation or perception, up to you.
Right, I'll do investigation then. With advantage?
Yes.
Apparently so.
Oh, that's same on both, so that's only an 8.
They look as if they're maybe similar to what you've been studying with your time down here, but nothing really stands out, mostly from the damage that they've sustained. They're just there don't seem to be anything recognizable that you've seen or heard of before. In the middle of the room, you can see what looks to be a well, sort of a wall around it, maybe about 2 feet high. Captain Pun's on his way. We'll just give him a chance. Go on, get it done with.
Well. What we got here?
I can't tell if that was real or fake laugh.
It was sarcasm.
Okay. It looks as if there is a rope tied to what looks like an iron. I want to say bar, but it's part of the actual build of the well itself. There's an iron railing which runs around the outside of the well. Rusted, probably with age, but it looks fairly solid. Proper 4 or 5 inches thick. And there is a rope really well tied onto it, disappearing into the well, which is maybe 4 foot in diameter.
Well, this looks safe.
For God's sake.
Maybe we should lift the rope up before we do anything else. See if there's anything on the other end.
I just want to give the rope a tug to see if it's actually sturdy or not.
As you go closer to the well, you can see a dim glow coming from inside. Flickering.
I snuff my flames, I just look down.
Right, so there's something down there.
1 second. Looking down, you can see sort of a flickering glow coming from below, and the rope disappears further down. You can probably see the bottom. You are awaken me. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. You dare awaken me.
I thought this was the well talking then.
Same.
And I realised.
I thought it was something to do with the well.
It's just the name was very appropriate.
How far can we tell how far down this?
Make a perception check.
All right then.
I would also like to make a perception.
That is a 18.
Well, you were there first having a look, so.
Oh god, that is perception.
Yes, perception.
That's 5.
You think
Nat
it's
1.
you think it's quite deep. Titan,
It's a bit deep.
having a look down, calculating, processing, maybe about 40 or 50 feet deep.
Oh, okay. So
Is there water then?
Can't see any water, you just see this flickering light at the bottom.
Okay, let's pull the rope up and see if the light moves. So I just try and pull it up a bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
doesn't seem to be anything tied on it.
Ah,
It comes up quite easily.
I've got an
I'll
idea,
pull up the
guys.
rest of the rope.
Go on.
Yep, you pull it all up. There's
Should we?
takes you a while, but maybe about 50 or 60 feet worth of rope.
That's a big rope.
There's a lot of rope.
Right, go on then,
Right.
Scion.
We can find out whether the thing at the bottom is a creature or an item with one of my abilities.
Okay.
So we could pour water down, and I can freeze it, and I can't freeze water if there's a creature in it. So if it
Okay.
freezes, and then I can unfreeze it straight afterwards.
All right, do
If
it.
it's
Do
nice.
it.
So yeah, can we give that a go?
Yeah,
gonna-
Do
Okay.
it.
go
I've got-
ahead.
See, you bringing a barrel of water would work.
All right, do it. Do
Yeah,
it.
I might need help pouring the barrel down though, to be honest.
Okay, I'll help.
Right, I'll help you lift it.
Right, so you lift the barrel between you. What are you doing with the barrel?
We're pouring the water down the well.
Okay.
I'm gonna get ready to freeze it as it gets to where the light is.
So as you lift the barrel, the steady trickle of water that is seeping out from the join between the lid and the barrel drips down the wall of the well. It's going to take a while if you're doing it this way.
Just rip off the lid.
Yeah, I thought that's what we meant we was doing. Yeah.
Well, you never said
the
you're
lid off.
taking the lid off, you just said...
Well, yeah, we'll take the lid off.
Okay, how?
With brute force.
Did you keep the hammer?
I'm gonna be honest, no.
Right, so I'm
Alright,
guessing you're going to use the
yeah.
pickaxe then.
Is there
Titan's hand just
is there a
shapeshifts into a
handle
hammer.
at all, or anything to grip it with?
No, but you've got a pickaxe.
Right, I break through it with the pickaxe then.
Alright, we're going brute force instead of finesse. Yeah. Thought you
Well,
might have
if
just
it's,
lifted.
Give
You
it a
said there
clout.
was, you said there was no way of. Well, you said there was nothing to grip it with, so there's no way of doing it with finesse. So
Well, there was. You
In
could have
doubt,
just
beat the shit out of it.
levered the lid off with the pickaxe, but that's fine. So now you just smash into the top of the lid with the pickaxe. Broken
Yeah.
planks now
I'll just
floating
look
in the
and
top of it.
say, Where's the rum gone?
you're not Harrison.
The rum. Where's the rum? The food, the shade,
You
the
know-
rum.
You're not Jack Sparrow.
That's the rum gone.
Welcome to the Caribbean.
Okay, so between you, just make whoever's doing the main part of the lifting, just make an athletics check with
I mean,
advantage.
Stampede.
That's the course of generalness.
21.
Yeah, between the two of you, you get it up, you tip it over, you can hear the water sloshing down the sides, and then all of a sudden the light gets dim, and then just goes out.
Nice.
Noise.
Right, it's not a problem anymore.
And now it's just complete blackness down at the bottom of the well.
How much water was there? Like, how much did it fill up?
Fill up?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, the well, I'm guessing it's got a bottom, so the water would have stayed there, right?
You don't know.
Just near the
No,
top?
it just goes into the ground.
You don't know.
Something.
Oh, do you
no,
know
the
what?
lights just.
Do you know
What?
what? Someone tie the rope around me.
Okay. I tied the rope around him.
Someone
And-
double check it to make sure it's tight enough.
I mean, I'm not gonna pull it because I'll probably snap it if I pull it.
I think you can control your strength. You're alright.
Okay, so I make sure it's tight enough.
You're.
And then
I mean, you may be young, but you're 10 years old. You've learned how to control yourself by now. You're good.
Damn,
So
I'm older
I'll
than- I'm older
I'll
than Titan.
sort of hold on to the rope as I let Sion down.
Okay, how much do you weigh, Sion?
Lots.
Where is the description? And he said 6 feet. I weigh 6 feet. 148.
I weigh. And
148
148.
thingamabobs.
148 thingamabobs. So pounds
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Titan, your strength? Like 26 or something?
18,
Of course it is.
18. It's actually less than Carlton's. Carlton's was 19. Titan's is 18.
So you can carry enough.
Woo.
Push, drag, or lift. Yeah, you can carry a lot. But if you just want to make an athletics check as you are carefully lowering Sion down as well.
That is a 12.
Yeah, it's not difficult for yourself. So you lower him down bit by bit, gradually, 10 feet, 20 feet. Have you got anything to see with, Sion?
Right, so the liquid Is it within range of me?
What
The,
does range
the
of you
water.
mean?
Like how close
Define
am I to the water?
range of me.
So I know sort of where the area is. So you choose an area of water you can see within range.
Yes, but I
just
want to
type in
know if you can
is-
see.
No, I can't. But I had a plan for that.
Okay.
Throw a produced flames down and say, catch!
Gosh.
Gosh.
Gorsh.
Gosh.
Gorsh.
Pretty much, I had an idea for being able to see, but it all depends on if I know where the water is.
And how would you know if where the water is?
Oh, is it? Can I hear it going slush slush slush?
Nope. You hear nothing going slush slush slush.
Can I just like kind of throw fire down to light the way?
I've got a torch and a tinderbox. To be fair.
Okay.
Okay, hold up the torch and I'll light it.
Yeah, I hold up the.
Shall we say, due to the fact that it is your character's inventory, if you're going to use this, you would have used it before you went down in
Because
the
our characters
well.
are smarter than us.
Basically, yes. Your characters know what they have better than you know what your characters have. Shall we go with that?
I
Would
don't
your
have any
intelligence,
sort
would
of
your
sense.
intelligence have told you to lit it before you went down there?
Let me
Well,
just...
+2, I
well-
hope it would.
Townies wouldn't, but Scions might have done.
Yeah, we'll go for that.
So, you're being lowered, holding this retcon torch in your hand.
Suddenly the torch phases into his hand.
It's like deja vu. Rewind. Ah, we're back where we were. Ah, I now have a torch. It's like that save spam. Reload.
Yeah.
You get maybe about 20 feet down, and you think you can make out what looks like floor at the bottom of the well. Another 10 feet. It's about 20 feet off you now. Yeah, the floor looks wet, but
Right.
the water's not pooled anywhere, and you can, as you're getting closer and closer, another 10 feet from it now, you can see your feet come out into open air, and the bottom of this well opens up, and now the last 10 feet, you hit the floor. Not hard. You land on the floor, feet first.
No, not thud, just splat.
You're in a room. The floor's wet, and looking around, you can see, oh, there was a torch that over there. It's a wet torch now. It's gone out.
Right, so you're saying the floor's wet.
Yep.
Is there enough water for me to use shit water still?
Depends what you want to do.
Right, so I can change the colour. I can sort of change the look of water. So I was going to make it so it's sort of like luminous, so it lets off light so that they can see from.
So you got this torch in your hand,
Yeah, but it'll be
and
like
you-
a light source, like them.
and you're
water
trying
as
to
well.
shape water into bioluminescence.
I'm just reading the spell. You change
Thinking-
water's colour or opacity.
Opacity, that means how well you can see through it,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
does it give off light.
Like, no.
I think
Change
you...
it to the colour of light.
you
I changed it to the color of the sun.
okay. Make an intelligence
Sparky's
check.
done with me already. That's a 10.
Yeah. You can't quite figure out that colour right now. Unfortunately,
Glenn,
you
that-
make it quite a bright blue
I wanna
from what
help.
you can see in the torchlight.
I want to help him figure out the color of light.
What is the colour of light?
I think I might know. I'm gonna roll.
Go into Arcanum Google.
Okay, that's a 19. Do I know the color of light?
Nope.
God damn it!
You've heard it.
Right,
You think it was a book, but you're not quite sure.
So, what can we see from up above?
Uh,
The torchlight. And
You can see the
down here.
torchlight flickering and it's just sort of reflecting off this bright white hair, not water.
Right.
And sort of glistening on the wet floor as the water is now seeping into this once incredibly dry well and the ground and the dirt in between.
What
So
is
I'll
in
just
the
peer
room?
over the edge and give to him and put thumbs up. Like, is it okay?
Right, can I have a look around the room before I put thumbs up, just in case? 'Cause this is-
Absolutely. Make a quick perception check for me.
Imagine I put my thumbs up and then something jumps me. That's a nat 20.
Yep, I can totally imagine that would most definitely happen to you any minute now. So as you look around the room, your now torch lighting up the gloom around, you can see particles of dust in the air still, even though you've poured a barrel's worth of water down here. You can just hear it
What was that?
seeping into the ground as like the ground is that dry, it's just drinking all this water straight through because it's not seen it for a long time. There's lots and lots of rubble scattered around what looks like walls. Over in the western corner of this room, you can see what looks like a large urn that's been smashed. There's a door to your north. To your north? Yeah, door to the north. Your north. It's different from everybody else's north. A little wooden door, looks old, crumbly, been there a while, rusted iron hinges on it. What looks like a collapsed tunnel over on the east side. Choked off completely with broken stones, rubble, large stones, small stones, medium stones.
Just every bit of stone. Yeah.
Every type of stone you can imagine.
Luminous stones. I can
Apart
imagine
from
them.
those. Every size of stone.
Diamond.
Size. Every size. I quantified it with a bit of clarification. Thank you very much.
Gargantuan.
But yeah, and then over in the sort of northeast side of the room, you can see another door as well. But yeah, there's bricks and stones and gravel and dust and rubble all over the place.
Check and see
Right.
if any of the rocks are mimics.
I'm alright, thanks. So I'm gonna put my thumbs up then. Be like, it's safe to come down. It's a room.
Catch me!
Ember jumps.
No! I catch the rope.
You try and catch the rope. Are you actually jumping into it?
You said I was!
You said
To be
catch
honest,
me,
that-
so...
Originally, I was gonna jump down with the rope on, like salute and just jump. But you guys decided it was gonna be slow.
Anyway. Catch me!
I mean, I'm sort of trying to hold on so that I can lower
Yeah.
you down slowly.
Do you want? I'll untie
Well,
the
the
rope
rope's
from
gone
me so you
slack
can
now.
pull it- You gonna say I'm gonna untie the rope so you guys can pull it back up and skate each other down. To be fair.
Yeah, I've already jumped.
You have you?
Yeah, you said I did.
If you want to jump, that's entirely up to you.
Catch me!
So are you jumping?
Right, so
Are you gonna...
Ember
it's 50
and
feet
Scion.
straight down.
are
I'm gonna
currently at the
try
bottom of this
and
well.
catch the rope.
These
Ember's on the way down.
damage for every 10 feet if you fail this. Are you sure you want to jump down the well?
Yes.
If you miss this rope, it will be 5d6 damage to you if you hit the floor.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I got you.
I've also shouted catch me down to Scion, so he's gonna try and catch
There
me.
is an incredible chance that if you fail this, your character is completely dead, unrevivable.
Unrevivable, even with Revivify.
Even with that, yeah.
What?
Outright
To
dead
help-
straight off.
To help with this, can I? Oh no, there's not enough water. Don't mind. Ignore me.
The water's all but gone now.
Yeah, I was gonna make a pool of water at the bottom.
Now
If
that,
you're
now
insistent-
that the ropes...
If he's insistent on doing this, I'm gonna let him try it.
So
Now
I'm
that the
gonna-
rope's
I'm gonna
gone
try-
slack,
I'm gonna try and
I,
catch the rope, and if
He's jumped. He's going with it.
I stop him before he jumps.
How are you gonna stop him?
No, he's jumped.
I wriggle out of
I'm
it.
He's
gonna-
already gone. He's already.
I'm gonna grab Ember before she.
You
before
may
she
need to
jumps.
make an attack
as
roll,
she
and you
runs.
need to make a dexterity, an acrobatics check.
And both an attack roll and an athletics check.
No, you need to do the attack roll.
So
He needs to
10.
do the acrobatics. You try and grab it, completely miss. Right, make your attack roll.
Okay, what, a unarmed strike or?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 9.
You miss.
Yeah. No, you try and grab her clothes, completely air swipe that. Completely miss. So you fall.
I want to try and catch again.
You're about halfway down, grabbing it, trying to grab at this rope. Make another acrobatics check.
Okay, 13.
You get hold of it, but rope burn.
Oh.
Down. So another 10 feet. Take 1 point of damage from the rope burn on your hand. It's slowing you down, but another 10 feet. You're about 10 feet off. You can see Scion right there as you're falling swiftly towards
I'm
him.
gonna try and catch.
Acrobatics. He's just got one more try to slow. She's got
14.
14. You grab it with the other one, and you just take another point of damage from the rope burn as you're now clutching onto this rope as you eventually slow down just as you get towards Scion, feet dangling inches from your face as she slows down and eventually lands safely, if a little bit sore and burned from the rope.
I just shake.
Is
my
there any
head.
sort of wetness nearby?
Yes, your hands bleeding and raw.
No, like, is the floor still wet?
It's damp.
I slam my hands on the floor.
It stings. You
Take
lift,
another point of damage.
you lift them
Salt,
up.
it's salt water.
I
Dirt
slam my
and-
hands. Take another point of damage.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing while this idiot tries to kill herself?
So,
What order are we gonna climb down?
well,
Um,
if I go last and I help everybody down by controlling the rope as I know everyone down, so I'll go last.
Well, can't we just leave the rope and just climb down the rope?
I mean, I
It
can't.
is tied off.
I'll probably break it. It probably can't hold my weight.
Right, well, thank you for giving me that one.
I do weigh 220 pounds.
I'm still under it. He tries and just clong and I die.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Well, I'll just climb down the rope as it is.
Okie dokie. Just make a acrobatics check.
Slipped.
You lean yourself over the side, holding onto the rope. Your foot slips a little bit from the greasy surface. You've still got a hold of this rope. You didn't do it like somebody else. Just dive straight in there. So you do slip and you start to fall a little bit. So you get about 20 feet down. It's not a controlled fall, but you are sliding down this rope now. Do you want to make another quick acrobatics check for me?
I'm just getting ready to catch him if need be.
11.
Yeah, eventually you grab hold of it, clutching it tight. Hand over hand, you make your way down the rest of the way to land safely at the bottom. Yeah,
Right.
the slick wall of the well did not aid your progress in that one. So it has
I motion to Hasbin and Zenria to go.
Okay,
Next.
Zenria, has been, as a go, flips themselves over the side, holding onto the rope.
I am happy to tie the rope around you and lower you down slowly if you like.
Shows everybody how it's done. Hand
With a
over
natural
hand,
20.
feet over foot, straight to the bottom, not a problem.
Nice.
Zenria shoulders her shield, flips it round on her back, longsword tied off carefully. Climbs over the edge of the well, holding onto the rope all the time while I'm loading up her character sheet. Oh, struggles a little bit, same as Belac, slips a bit on the side, one hand on the rope, holds out one hand to kind of brace herself as she's slipping down a bit
Again, I
further.
get ready to catch.
Oh!
Help me catch!
Dear.
Falls about another 20 feet,
Everyone get ready to catch.
bouncing off the side as the rope swings from side to side. And she's coming straight towards you guys
My
now.
God.
Everyone get ready!
Stop shouting. Got 2 sleeping kids upstairs, remember? You can be excited, just don't shout so loud, that's all. Right, she is coming straight towards you guys with speed. Still holding onto this rope, but bouncing and bouncing off the sides. What are you going to do?
I have an idea. Could I use entangle on the wall to try and catch her?
I mean, there's 3 of you down there. It's entirely up to you.
I'll just wait and see what
What
everyone
falls,
else
someone else
does.
can press it.
I'll wait as she
You are-
falls like.
I can say if you try that and then if you fail, then one of us can try something.
Actually, I was gonna wait and see if you do
Spells that
it.
can help her.
So what are you
So,
doing?
I'm casting entangle to see if I can try and catch her on the wall.
Okay, what does it say?
Grasping weeds and vines sprout out from the ground. Goddammit.
It could, ground, wall, whatever. It's
Oh.
all good. It's fine.
In a 20-foot square starting from the point within range, for the duration these plants to the ground.
Is it
Creature
concentration?
within the area you cast a spell must succeed a strength saving throw or be restrained and entangled
Yeah, that's fine.
in plants.
So if you're casting it, yeah,
Yeah.
just as Zenria starts to plummet out the bottom of this well, all these vines just erupt through the wall and just wrap themselves around her. She is not resisting this one. Grabbing hold of her, stop her fall just before she plummets straight on top of you guys. Now she's there, stuck in these vines.
Okay, you good?
I guess. It's
And I
like,
Pretty spot on.
And I just
yeah, no, I thought it was quite cool, that, wasn't it?
and I just drop the spell because it's concentration.
Just drop it instantly.
No, like when I know that she's fine.
Okay, so
So I wait for her to actually slow down. I don't just.
so gently release the vines and
Yeah.
so you gently, the vines pull away bit by bit, her feet drop out, and then they release her from under the arms and she lands just with you guys. So now, Titan.
Cool.
Just jump down.
How far down is it? Did you say 40
50 feet. 50 feet
50
in
feet.
total, yes.
Okay. So that's about, yeah, so that is, and I'm 7 feet tall. Right.
5d6 damage.
You can hear the trigonometry coming out now, can't you?
Alright, well,
Just make sure it's tied off well at the top, and we'll just see what happens when you climb down.
yeah.
Getting back up, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Alright, I tie the rope around myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I make sure it's tied at the top.
It is.
And
It's still
then-
tied. Nobody's untied
Right.
it yet.
Okay, and then I slowly and carefully try and make my way down.
Okay. Acrobatics check, if you please.
Okay. 14.
14. That's cool. So you climb yourself over the wall of the well, the lip of the well, whichever. holding on to the rope, one hand, the other hand on the side of the wall. Your arms, you got a fairly good wingspan. Gradually lowering yourself down bit by bit. You make it about halfway. Just do another one for us.
7.
Okay.
Snap!
You hear a creaking of the rope.
Oh god.
It's not snapping, it's creaking. You are heavy. It's a decent rope, but it's a lot of weight holding onto it this far down. One last check for me.
10.
10. Eventually, you make your way all the way down to the bottom, landing safely as you can just see the rope pulling taut a bit. You can't see any damage on it from where you are, but it was feeling the tension of your fat ass climbing down it.
Arch. Arch. Wow.
Yeah. You can't help the fact that
Right.
you're made out of solid metal and wood.
Okay. We're gonna need
A bigger boat.
oh, we wouldn't have the materials for that though, would we? I was just thinking one of us could cast mending on it, but it's got a material cost. So that's not gonna work.
One of us could cast mending on it. Why does somebody have mending?
I could take it.
What? I mean, a next long rest, one of us could change over our cantrips.
Yeah.
And get mending. Load up mending.
Get told.
But also, does anyone have any rope in their inventory?
Yeah.
I have 15 feet of rope.
Right. So that could be a problem going back, I suppose.
Oh, dear me. Right,
All
now
right,
you
well-
guys have all made yourselves, well, yeah, made it to the bottom of the well, into this new room. Ruined, rubble all over the place, now lit by Scion's torch. We're going to take a quick break,
Okie dokie.
because I need to just grab another drink, because this one's all gone and I can feel my throat getting a little bit dry, because I've been hay fevery all day. But yeah, quick pee break, bio break, fill up your drink break, whatever you want to do with your 3 or 4 minutes. We'll be back after these short messages from our not really sponsors, but we do it anyway.
Who are not really sponsored.
We'll see you soon. What are you doing in my ruins? It's definitely not something that you hear. It's not something that you hear, don't worry.
I'm back.
Welcome back. So good to see you here. It's probably not the one that we want on, is it? That map. I'll get rid of that. There we go. Let me know if you're back.
I am.
I'm not.
Zenria has been. Yeah. Towninator, are you there?
Isn't here yet.
That's just rude.
What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? I don't know.
Should we put him in the timeout corner?
No. If he's not back, but he is actually back, we'll just remind him he's muted.
I just got back as you were saying it, actually.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
a Tango Berry Peach.
Ooh, nice. I just got water because I know carbonated stuff does not do well for the throat, so. Okay. As we were, you are in this rubble-choked room. A door to the north, a door to the northeast. To the south of the well, you can see there's more rubble and walls and what looks like a sort of passageway leading to the southeast. Rubble and stones and rocks strewn all over the floor.
So, well, just repeat that again. The doors were where?
North and northeast.
Right.
No, there you go.
And there's a passageway blocked by rubble, I think he said, to the south.
Yeah, it's not blocked by rubble. There's what looks like it could have been a tunnel once upon a time is blocked over to the east, but there's a passageway with a bit more rubble than the rest of the place to the southeast, basically. So
Okay.
two doors up in the north, and then the passageway southeast.
So that rubble, could you say it's loose earth?
In what regard?
For mold earth.
To do what?
Move it.
I mean, feel free to try and move it.
Okay. I try and move it.
Where?
So I want to try pull out and then put it next to the door.
Next to the door. What, to block the door?
No. Next to the door frame.
Is the
So
door
pull it out
open?
of the door.
Well, it's not blocking the door.
You said that it was.
No. Guys, did I say that the rubble was blocking the door?
You said it was blocking a corridor, didn't you?
No, I said it. Well,
See?
It was rubble.
I'm not
East
different
tunnel.
rubbles.
tunnel
Blocked.
that was leading to the east was completely blocked by rubble. That you would not be able to clear with loose earth.
Right, well I'll go to the north door and try it to see if it's open.
I will be behind Belac.
Belac.
I would like to go to the other door.
Okay,
I'm
well,
gonna stare at the water
you
below in
can wait your
disappointment.
turn. Okay, Belac.
Hmm?
The door opens fairly easily, but as it swings inwards, you can hear it creaking and grinding with the passage of age and the rust, and some of the wood starts to crumble away as it's opening up. This door has not been touched in many a year by the look of things.
Right. Has Ember still got his light up?
Yeah, but he's wandered off to another door.
Yeah, I was checking the other door.
Do you have
No,
dark?
I've still got my torch. I know.
Yeah, you've
Still
still
got
got your
your
torch.
torch.
Yeah.
So
Are
I'm
you
going to
with?
stand behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the glow of the torch and your crunch of your snacks, you look into the room. It's maybe it's fairly square, about 15 feet by 15 feet. There's another of those smashed, broken, large urns in the top north end of this room. There is what looks like some sort of skeleton just resting against the northeast section of the room. Northwest, sorry. Corner. It looks as if it has been dead for a fairly long time. It's pure skeleton, cobwebs and all sorts all over it. The remnants of rotted clothes just sort of hanging on to patches of the skeleton itself.
Right, can I go and check it over?
Yeah.
See if I can see if there's anything significant on the slide of the cloth or anything.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
12.
12. Okie dokie. As you're, having a look, you pick up some of the cloth and it just crumbles away in your hand. But you have a look over the rest of the skeleton and it's definitely a humanoid skeleton. You look at the skull and it's like, it seems a little bit odd. It's a bit misshapen, as if the jaw itself comes to a bit of a point. It's more like a sort of, it reminds you of a large cat or rodent or that kind of shape to it, and there's some sort of strange curvature at the top of the spine as if it's slightly hunched. But apart from that, nothing else. But while you're investigating, you have a look in the urn, and you can see there's a bit of a glint of gold in the bottom of this urn. You pick up 3 gold pieces, but they're not of any design that you're aware of from this area.
Old money.
Right.
It's old money.
And then
It's
on
like
the
an old pound coin.
on the west side of this room, there's again, like back in that main room, there's another what could have been a tunnel but completely collapsed, full of bricks, stones, dust, rocks, earth, roots. Looks as if it's been that way for a very long time now.
Okay.
But no, nothing else. No other exits out of this room, nothing else. That's pretty much it.
Right. So,
But you do realise yourself, you are feeling that pull that you know coming from somewhere in a south direction from where you are now. It just all of a sudden, just a little pulse of it, just tugging, and then it fades away again.
Right, so I'll just say to the rest of the group, I've got that funny feeling again, and it's coming sort of from a southerly direction.
Right, while you're doing
Alright.
that, Ember, you were opening the other door, am I correct? Okay. So as you open this door, well, you try and open this door, but it feels as if it's blocked somehow from the other side.
Can someone help? This door's blocked. And I want to try and, like, jam door to try and like just slam into it.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
Okay, that is 5.
You... Not very strong. You barge into the door with your shoulder a little bit. You didn't really put a lot of force into it. It sort of cracks a little, but nothing of note.
Can I run up and kick? Can I run up and kick the door?
You
step
can
out of the way so you
indeed.
kick me.
make
Yeah,
an,
stand up. Kick.
make an
Punch me
acrobatics
through the door.
check for your Sparta kick of the door.
Oh, it's a nat one.
You still roll higher than me.
Daisy.
God,
Yeah, I still rolled higher altogether.
really, really. So yeah, you run up, you stand, you just got your angles wrong, and your foot just lands on the door.
Oh, I thought he was gonna
You
make me
didn't-
kick him then.
No, you just stopped in the wrong place, and you just misjudged it slightly, and your foot just lands on the door, and you just stood there now, foot against the door, like, yeah, nothing to see here. I'm
As
just
he's- as
having
he's
a
just
rest.
stood there, I'm gonna try and slam into it using the power of teamwork.
Is it, while I've got my leg up, I'm just gonna go like, you need to stretch before you kick doors, kid. Stretch.
That's a 9.
A 9. So Ember tries again with a little bit harder. You can see it's starting to bow inwards a little bit. In the middle, it's creaking and splintering, but Ember's not quite strong enough to force this door.
Okay, maybe if we do it at the same time, you kick it and I
I've
slam
got-
into it.
I've got an
at the
idea.
same
I've got an
time.
idea.
Okay,
I've got an
what's your
idea.
idea?
Right. I
What's
pick
your
up
idea,
Ember and
Solomon?
just throw Ember at the door.
Really?
No, we'll kick it together.
Okay.
That'll probably kill
So, yeah.
Ember.
So
I mean,
yeah,
it's
I'm gonna
entirely
just slam
possible.
into it whilst he's kicking.
Okay, so who's the main antagonist against the door?
Let's both just roll separately and then
Ro-
combine.
Both rolling separate. You can't combine it.
Yeah, it's like a group roll.
No, you
Both
either
roll
do it
separate.
together. Both roll separately. Right, go for it.
Yeah. What did you need? Was it acrobatics still or?
Acrobatics, yeah. No, not acrobatics. Athletics.
That's good. That's good.
That.
It's, I
Oh,
didn't say
I
roll
got a
again,
10.
but whatever.
I got a 10.
Whatever. You just change the bonus on it. You don't just roll again, you chuffing chuffer. But with the power of teamwork,
Altogether we got 29.
you kick it, and eventually the door splits down the middle, and the right half of it just swings open, while the left half it just sort of falls in and collapses against the floor.
The power of
Easy
teamwork.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
give
just-
Ember a half.
Roll to hit.
Ah!
Ow, my rope burn! Your hand is just covered in yours is just covered in hand flesh.
Hand
Oh.
flesh,
Just
lovely.
covered in
That's
hand
gross.
It's just covered in hand bits.
It's covered in a little bit of blood and a lot of plasma. That's what happens generally with those type of burns, isn't it? Stingy, stingy, stingy.
Take another point of damage.
Right. So looking inside this room, it's about maybe 10 foot by 15 foot. Bit narrower this one. There's another smashed urn in the corner. You just see chunks of it littering all around the floor. Nothing else really. Ruined walls. Ceilings collapsed a little bit on one side. Moss and dirt showing through. Nothing else that you can see.
Just wanna check if there is anything good in the room.
Make an investigation check.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Yeah, there's walls, there's a roof, there's some broken pottery down in that corner over there. That's about it.
Say there was some moss.
It's a bit of moss.
No.
It's got dirt full of it. It's just
No,
like that
it's a
really
Delta
thin.
Rune reference you wouldn't understand.
It's a what?
It's a Delta Rune reference.
Oh, okay. Good to know. But there's nothing of note in there, yeah. Okay. Belac. You were saying something while these guys were investigating.
Yeah, I was just telling the others what I'd found in the other room. In the room, I'd found 3 gold pieces, but they were not of a design that I was used, that is in circulation at the moment.
Can I have
And I was getting that strange feeling somewhere to the south.
Can I have a look and see if I recognise the gold?
You do not.
Cool.
Can I try it with a history check?
You can certainly try.
I want to help with that history check.
Hey up, Scarlet. I don't know how long ago that
I'd say 23. That
message
message
was.
just popped up.
Okay. Howdy
Hello,
doody.
Scarlet.
Hello.
No. For you, you do not, even with that roll, you do not recognize.
Okie dokie.
And so endeth the stream. Cool.
I mean, I could do a history check on them. To be honest, I never thought of that.
Feel free.
I shall give advantage
How?
by helping.
How are you going to help?
Because I just looked, I didn't actually try.
Go for it.
Oh, we got advantage.
Yes.
Nope. Not a clue.
This is hard.
Clue.
Not a clue. They're old. They're definitely old. But you don't know how old.
Very.
I'll just put them in my pouch.
Okie doke. They're definitely gold though. Right. What are you doing next?
So,
So,
from the
are
north.
we going to try and investigate this passage down to the south?
Sounds like an idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you're being drawn there, then it's the next logical step to go.
Yeah, an
Probably
artist.
an
pops-
artist down there. Did that be you too, that Sparky?
No, we're definitely both at the same time. Okay, so yeah, it's not much of a corridor or passageway. It's basically like the entrance to a room, but the door, if there was a door there once upon a time, it's now been lost. So it's a small room, maybe about 10 by 10 feet. But as you get around the corner, you can see there is another door which leads out of it on the west wall of this ruined, broken room.
Be careful. There's a door missing there, and there's one there. The door might be a mimic. It's a door mimic.
Not everything's a mimic.
Nothing in this room say that we can see.
There's lots of rocks and stones and dust
I take a rock.
and wobble. Take a rock. Put a rock in your
So
inventory.
try the door then that's in the west.
Yeah, this one, same as the previous one, swings open with a creak.
Right.
And splinters of wood fall from it as you look inside. You see there's another skeleton just lounging around on the floor in this room. This one's more of an L shape, so it stretches out long in front of you and then sort of turns off to the right. And in the right hand at the top of the room, another one of these skeletons. Again, the clothes long rotted away. There's a few scraps left on it. Same sort of humanoid type figure as the previous one that you discovered. Curved spine, elongated face around the nose and the jaw. And another unbroken urn, sort of a couple of feet away from the skeleton.
So I'll have a look in the urn, but I'll ask anybody if they recognise the skeleton.
It's Jeff. It's Jeff. I've not seen him for such a long time.
With this, especially the shape of the skull.
Looking in this urn, you can see at the bottom. Oh, there's another glint. There's another 4 of those gold coins just lingering at the bottom of this urn. Nobody else, if they have a look at it. I mean, the only thing that you would say is, as I said earlier, it's very reminiscent of maybe sort of rodent type skull or cat or anything that's, you know, dog.
Yeah.
It's got the long, elongated snout type.
The rest of the body is like human.
Humanoid, yeah. 2 legs, 2 arms. Just a really curved spine around the top.
Maybe there was like a lichen throat out.
Maybe not as... maybe on the shorter side of humanoid as well. Not quite halfling or gnome, but shorter than your average human.
Right.
Yeah, maybe there was.
Child.
I
And
lean
then-
myself up against it, see if it's my size.
There is another door to the south. This one noticeably more solid than all the rest of them that you've seen so far.
Mr. Wormwood, are you still feeling that pull?
Am I?
Yeah. Not as strong as that first initial, but just like it usually is.
From which direction?
South.
Yeah.
Right, then I guess that's where we're going.
So the door's sturdier than normal.
It looks a bit more sturdy than normal.
I get produce flames ready to attack anything that might like jump out at us.
Okay.
Because if it's stronger, then they might be trying to contain something in there.
So who's gonna be opening this door?
Well, Mr. Wormwood, I think you should let me open this rather than you.
Right.
Because if
okay.
anything surprise attacks us, I can take the hit much more than you can.
Surprise!
Right, I'll try and open the door.
Yeah. It swings open easily, creaks a little bit as it does so, but this one's definitely a good solid sort of dark iron wood. Creaks as it does so, swings inward, and you can see leading south from it. It's a short corridor with what looks like a solid wall opposite you. Maybe about 15 feet further down. From what you can see here in the dim glow of the torch and the flame in Ember's hand, you can see what looks like a lever on each side of the wall furthest from you. Sort of, as you look down on the sort of east side and the west side. West side? There's a lever. One on each side of the wall, basically.
Right.
And
So
then down to your left, just inside the door, There's a suit of rusted armour just laid face down in the corridor.
God. Someone
Is
wanna keep an
and
eye
it's
on the
just the armor. There's nothing
Just
inside the armor.
no, just a suit of what looks like rusted armour just laid there.
Someone keep
Okay.
an eye on the armor. I don't trust armor.
All right. Well, I think since there's two levers,
think you've got
that
louder.
we should. I think that since there's two levers, we should pull them both together.
Yeah, sounds good.
I feel like before we do, we should try pulling them separately. Because I got a rock I can throw at one of them.
As you move closer,
What was
you can
that? Is that
hear
someone's dog?
little Spark yabbering on and never fucking shutting up. What sounds like muffled voices from the other side of the wall, opposite where the door led you through into this tunnel.
So there's something there. There's someone there. Okay. Can I are the levers quite close together? Can I reach both of them and pull
Nope.
both of them, or is that a two-person job?
That's a two-person job.
Can I
Right.
pull one? I like pulling levers.
Right,
Okay.
well, can I just make a suggestion?
Hmm?
Yeah.
If Titan stands at one side
Yeah.
and Scion stands at the other side, ready to pull the levers, I will
Yeah.
stand behind them in the middle, and I will have Firebolt cantrip ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Sketch.
will also stand in the middle
case
and have
somebody-
flames ready.
You know, it opens
Yeah.
a wall or something happens.
Yeah, and then Zenria, I reckon, should prepare her breath weapon, and then Hasbin should prepare their bardic inspiration, I guess, or something. Okay. Are you ready, Scion?
Yeah.
Is everyone else ready?
Yup.
3, 2, 1, pull.
The entire room explodes and you all die.
No, you hear what looks like a slight shift in the wall, and then it shifts back again as some of the dust and rubble fall down from the roof area, and the noises in the other room stop.
I've got an idea.
But nothing.
Wait, so
Constantly pull them up and down.
so wait a minute. That didn't do anything that we can see, right? Us pulling
yeah,
both levers together.
Pulling both of them together, it's as if the wall shifted a little bit and then shifted back. But the ball,
Right.
the levers spring back up again. So you
Might
pull
be
them down
one
and
to open it and one to close it.
Okay then. I try pulling mine, and I say to Scion, "Don't pull yours."
which one's yours?
Pulling check.
My one's the one on the right.
As you are facing into the corridor.
Yes.
Right, let me get my bearings then. Okay. The one on the right. Okay. Just let me know when.
Yeah, I do it.
Nothing happens.
Nothing
Not-
happens.
Oh my god,
Right.
not
Can I
pulling
pull
check.
mine?
Yep.
Roll a pulling check.
Yeah, I would like you to roll nothing right now. So you're just gonna pull it, yep.
He's got a pulling check and a not pulling check.
Right, I pull it, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll a pulling check.
As you pull it down, you hear and you see the wall in front of you start to slide with a rumble, slowly sliding towards you as it opens.
Use flames ready in my hand.
And as you see, eventually, there is light coming from inside. And you see what looks like an altar in front. And somebody stood what looks like in front, well, the other side of this altar. And in front of them, you just see this glimpse of what looks like a book, sort of made of silver. 2 skulls on either side of the altar with candles stuck on them. And you recognize this person as the wall finally slams into place. It's the Overseer. Hello there.
How's that, good sir? We meet again.
Yes,
What are you
indeed.
doing?
I could ask the same of you now, couldn't I? Guards,
did
get
you-
them! And you just see these 2 guards just nip out from either side as he ducks down behind.
I had the spell ready to trigger the spell.
Trigger what spell?
I had produce flames ready for if anyone came and attacked us.
What are you gonna do with it though?
Yeet!
Juice flames.
What?
At the guards!
Okay, 2 of them coming from either side. I'm just gonna produce flames on the floor!
Both of them!
You can't do it at both of them.
I'll take. Okay.
One coming from the left, one coming from the right.
I'll take the right.
Right.
Bela, you take the left.
I'll take the
This-
left, you take the right then.
This is all happening that quickly. You don't have time to converse with each other.
We just take the one that's on our side. Because we
Right,
weren't
so-
standing on. I wasn't sitting on his shoulders.
Who bloody knows what you're doing? As you go along. 1 minute you're doing one thing, and then all of a sudden it goes
But
the other way, and then you're doing something else.
instinctively, being right-handed, I would shoot off my firebolt to the one on the right.
Oh, well, in that case, so would he.
Instinctively being left-handed.
Instinctively being handed.
Instinctively having hands.
Right. Okay. So this is happening, guys. So this is your first. Let's get rid of that. Boop. I need some light. Shed some light onto the situation. I don't know how much of this will get done today, but hey, there we go. Zoom it in.
Let there be light.
Oh
Oh!
my god. Great minds think alike. That's the second time.
We did that. We did that last session as well as 2. We said
What?
something at the same time.
Oh no. So,
Great minds truly do think alike.
Cyan was on the left. Is that right? No, that's left. Whatever his name is. Trojan. That was it.
Trojan.
Was there. We had, was it Belac here? With Ember and Cloak of Many Colours there.
Thought it was wider.
It was red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and black and ochre and peach and
No, it was
ruby
just
and
grey,
gold
'cause I ain't
and
painted it yet.
violet and gold and silver and gold and chocolate and,
And
gold
mute.
and cream and cream.
Okay, so that is how we are at the moment. I didn't get any furniture out because I didn't want to give too many things away. So you've got 2 guards, and then you've got the Overseer.
Well, we can see the little spark blowing his dice.
You up?
That's it.
No, so it uses the Overseer. there. So you got your 2 guards coming from either side.
Just to make it roll high.
Right, so you guys do your rolls.
God damn it, that didn't help at all. That was a
This
15
before
to
initiative.
hit.
15. Let's have a look. Yeah, initiative isn't quite yet. Don't you?
I thought you said roll initiative. Sorry.
Yeah, I did.
When did I say roll initiative?
You said
No,
roll your thing. So I assumed
he
you roll
didn't say
initiative.
roll initiative.
You said you two roll your things.
Oh, right. Eyeballs. 17 to hit.
17 to hit.
And I got a 15.
And you got a 15. We'll take those initiative rolls anyway. So what were they?
21.
And I was 19.
Jesus. Let's get the music changed up. Why is this so awkward? Crying out loud. So many buttons. This is what happens when you guys go out of order. 21. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Belac. Where's Scion? There's Scion. 19. Right. So, 15 misses.
God damn it.
As it comes around the corner, blocks it. 17 hits. Which one are you aiming at?
Right hand one.
Right hand one. Okay, so the one in front of... You are
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Why have you suddenly got quiet? Joe got loud, you've got quiet.
Just stole the loudness.
I mean, I probably got a bit louder because I changed positions and changed computers.
Shocking behaviour.
Sure you didn't steal the loudness.
Maybe.
So, yeah, it takes a strong hit, burning flames. Still running towards you though. Right. And now we're on to some initiative. So the rest of you roll your fucking initiative, please.
3.
Oh dear.
Oh.
We're gonna have a goddamn seizure.
I won't worry.
Jesus Christ.
Hang on a second, I forgot what that was.
Me too.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, good.
Okay, I got a 15.
Right. 15, you say? Oh, manual entry is a pain in the butt. Ember,
3.
3. Cool. Titan, 15. Where are you, Titan? It keeps moving things around. It's doing my head in. Right, well, we're getting all this together. Let's just see what these guys get. Who got the 21?
Me.
Have a think about what you want to do first while I figure these two
Yeah.
out. And then we are. Should have just left him home. Oof. Right,
Ooh.
what's your dex?
16.
16. You go first.
I mean, it's obviously gonna be Zen because she didn't roll above a 15.
No, hold on. Belac got 21. You got 19.
No.
Oh, I got 19.
Yeah, look.
Oh, do you know? This is why you guys do my heading. 21. So that's 21 for Zenria, and I can't remember what has been got.
We got a 10.
Why didn't it automatically fill it? That's really annoying.
Because some people are just too impatient, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Right. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot I'm a wizard, not a duder.
A wizard, not a blah 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 blah. Scion, you're up. What are you doing?
Right. The one in front of me, am I over in melee or am I one square away?
No, you're about a square away at this point.
Right, I'm gonna head around, but I'm gonna head like around the side of him to leave like room up front for other people to get in.
Around the side. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go around the side.
Yeah.
Around here. Yeah, you'd get past the other one easy enough. Go for it.
Stabby stabby with trident.
Stabby stabby with trident.
Not stabby stabby with trident.
So as you try and sneak around the side of him, he just raises up his shield, blocks it out of the way. No, don't think so, mate. Is that your go?
Yep.
Good. 'Cause I forget we're all level 1 at this point, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, as that happens, Zenria's like, I'll save you! Darts through, stuck at the back, pushes past. Has been Belac, charges in to have a go at the same one. Gonna slash at it with her long sword. And completely fluffs it. Shield still up, just strikes down, crack, right on top of the same place you did. And as your swords just meet there, sword meets your trident, you just kind of fighting over it a bit. Yeah. As she rolled a natural 1. It was really cool. Okay, so as this is all happening, you saw that the overseer grabbed this book and just yanked it off the table as if it was attached to something, and you heard it. And as that happens, you hear at the back the suit of armor that was just laid there just stands up.
You were right.
Oh, for book's sake.
And is now stood behind whatever her name is, Ember. Makes its way towards her. Yeah, and it's going to have a swing with its fists. Try and slam her. So the first one is... Does the 22 hit?
Yes.
Oh dear. And that is 7 points of damage.
Oh, I am very nearly dead.
And then
Again.
has another swing.
What?
Yeah, gets 2 attacks, I'm afraid. And does a 10 hit.
No. Thank God.
So as it swings once, you lurch forwards and it swings again with its second hit. Just straight over your head. Belac, you're up.
Ow.
This
Right,
thing is
so
now
I'm-
behind you, not in melee range, but you can probably see it. It's just here. Swinging away at Ember.
Right, so I'm just gonna move forward.
Mm-hmm.
A square.
A whole square.
A whole square.
Well, yeah.
So here.
I just backing up a little bit, and I'm gonna turn around and face that suit of armor.
Move forward and backing up a little bit. What?
I'll move forward and turn round so I can see the suit
Okay.
of armor. So I'm looking at the suit of armor.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Right, and I'm gonna use the chill touch cantrip on it.
Can
so
you just
create-
Go on.
You create a ghostly skeletal hand
Yeah.
in the space of a creature within range.
Right.
Make a ranged spell attack against the creature. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage and can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
If I hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Okay. Better roll to hit then, aren't you?
15.
15. Unfortunately, that does not hit.
Ooh.
So, as you launch your fist towards it, however it is, it tries to grasp it, but it just hits the armor and just peels away, dissipating.
So, I don't have any bonus actions, no. So that's my go over with then.
Okay. Right. I think we're at Titan.
Okay, so
Yes, that phrase again.
I am going to. I should stay in range so that I can, do some healing if I need to. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna aim for the overseer himself, and I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
What?
Excuse me, what? Coughs in 2 HP.
No, it's fine. You do that. Ember's dying behind you. You go for the overseer.
Coughs in 2 HP.
What do you need to do?
Okay, fine. I go. I mean, what can you do damage dealing wise, Ember?
Produce flames and sickle.
And you've got healing spells, right?
I have good berry and healing word. I can just eat some berries.
Okay, so I have better healing spells than you. Okay.
Yes.
You're a cleric, are you not?
Yeah, but I also have some awesome damage dealing spells.
Yeah,
Just
it's just
saying.
no, druids just more hybrid than clerics. Clerics can be lots of good things, but their healing tends to be a lot better than druids, I think. Funny enough, so do paladins. And maybe rangers.
There's
Tick, 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 tick.
and then Hasbin also has healing spells too.
Tick,
Has
tick, 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 tick.
Hasbin had a go yet?
Nope.
On right, no, right. I'm gonna say, Hasbin, take care of Ember, and I am gonna aim
Are
for
you
the
kidding
overseer.
me? Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna aim for the overseer and cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Oh God.
Okay.
Burst eardrum.
8d6 damage coming
What?
up. That is 6, 8, 14, 18, 20, 21, 26, 27 points of damage.
Well, that was a fun fight.
Okay. No resistances or anything for that?
No, it's a spell attack.
Right, okay.
So that is 27 radiant damage, and the next attack roll against him has advantage.
So as you cast this, you see he just falls unconscious on the floor.
Oh my god. Kill him!
Okay, now I head back, and I move, and I get within melee range of this suit of armor.
Okay.
It's kind of trying to draw the suit of armor's attention away from Ember.
Right, could he flank it?
Probably.
And I end my turn there.
Okay, doke. Has been. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heal
Your
Ember.
turn. Excuse me.
You need to heal Ember. I
Excuse me. Excuse me. What?
Remember who you are.
Coughs into HP.
Coughs in, please and thank you.
please.
Coughs. Coughs out blood
Say,
into HP.
say it like you mean it. Why don't you?
Please, can you heal Ember? Please, I'm begging you.
Okay.
Coughs out blood
Please.
into HP.
That's gone anyway. So it's gonna move a bit further around here. Actually, that's touch, isn't it? So gonna move in front of you there. Place the hand. Cast Cure Wounds. Healing. Ooh, that was so close. 9 points.
Is my rope burn gone?
I don't know, how much have you been healed?
Max HP.
Then yes. The cracking pain in your back from this thing slamming into you.
Ow.
Um,
Longer ow.
no longer ow, and the burns on your palms all disappeared. So yeah, you went out fine. And with bonus action, he's gonna whip out his little panpipe and give you some bardic inspiration. So you got D6. And that's that ticked off. Yeah, cool. D6 for inspiration die. And that's his turn done. So, Overseer. That's an 11.
He's unconscious.
Yeah.
Making
Death saving throw. It's an 11. Ember, you're up.
Oh, are we doing death saving throws for enemies as well?
I mean, he's the big bad. He's the big.
It's up
big
to me, innit,
ET
really?
this, So probably.
Okay.
Still, it's still classes.
So
Technically, you can do it for all enemies if you really wanted to.
how far away is the overseer?
From you, you're talking about maybe 40 feet.
Okay.
I suppose that
would,
gives us an opportunity to kidnap him.
so I would like to risk it for a choppy biscuit and just run dash over to the overseer.
Okay,
I'm gonna risk it for a choppy biscuit.
how are you gonna do this?
So I'm going to.
You won't be able to make it to him.
I'm gonna dash.
You're gonna dash.
Yes.
Okay, so you're risking
I'm risking it for a choppy biscuit.
2 sets of opportunity
two.
attacks. There's a guard right there.
Couldn't I just like?
No,
God damn it.
you can see that from here. You can't do that.
Yeah. I'm a double risk it for a chalky biscuit.
Okay.
I'm a risk it for 2 chalky biscuits.
This child does not like to live. Okay,
No,
so
I don't.
you're running away from this one.
Yes.
It's gonna be twice your movement to get through
Okay.
these guys anyway. Okay, so it's gonna try and slam into you. Oh, you got lucky on that one. That's a 7. So as you
Yes.
dash away from him,
Haha.
so that's 10 feet to get to here.
Okay, I've got 1 chalky biscuit. and a chocolate biscuit
So-
just materialized in my hand.
15, 20, 25, 30 to get here. this guy has a swing at you. With his... Well, he has a stab at you with his spear. For a 12.
Second chalky biscuit acquired.
Lucky. Right, so that's your first movement. You got to there.
And I'm going to dash to the overseer.
Okay. Boom.
Help.
You're there.
And I'm going to... So is anyone else hurt?
Don't know. Ask him.
Is anyone else hurt?
The guard over there's like, yeah, I am.
Not you. I'll take that as a no, so I'm at end my turn now.
Okie doke. Right. So, the guard next to Ember and Zenria, feeling a bit cornered right now, is going to stab out at Scion with his spear.
No.
Let's see. And that's a whole 5.
No. I don't think he will.
No, I don't think so either. This guy is gonna run up here, jump onto the altar, pop down here. So yes, you would get an attack of opportunity with your sickle.
With my skickle. Okay, does 14 hit?
Nope. So just ducks out of the way, grabs a potion off his belt,
Oh no.
pours it down his throat.
Oh no. Oh wait, no, I get advantage.
You what?
Oh no, that's not, no, yeah. I was thinking of against the Overseer, because of Guiding Bolt. I don't know why I thought that.
But he's unconscious, so I don't know.
I don't know,
Well, he was unconscious. He's not unconscious anymore. So. Now has.
oh no.
That. That brings us back to Scion.
Right.
Scion, help,
the
kill
guard,
the Overseer.
there's a guard with me, so I'm gonna deal with that first.
Okay. Then help and kill the Overseer.
Right, I'm gonna use my trident on the guard.
Okie doke.
Hey, 21.
That's definitely a hit.
Sorry. 1d8. That is 5 damage.
5 damage, so. Yeah, as the guard's deflecting blow from Zenria, you just straight under the shield, into his gut, and he just falls down, dead,
God damn.
bleeding out. At your feet.
Yeah, lovely.
Is that your go?
Yeah, I'm gonna head around to the left hand side towards the Overseer.
Help.
Okay.
Help. Help.
Which whereabouts do you want to be?
How close can I get?
Well, you can get there.
I'll go there. I don't know where there
You'd
is,
have
but
to-
I'll go there.
You'd have to stay in contact with that guard unless you're getting out of his melee range.
Just where you've put me is fine.
Cool. Zenria. Thinking you two have got that under control over there. She's gonna dash back here and try and take on this thing.
The suit of armor, you mean?
Yeah, the suit of armor next to you. I don't know what she's got. I'm gonna slash at it with the longsword. Oof! For a whopping 6. So she just slashes it. Longsword just deflects off the armor leaving sparks and cleaning some of the rust off it. Yeah, and I wasn't sure, Granny, I wasn't sure whether we'd have time for this, but I think we'll be alright. So, I heard the yawning.
say
Don't
no.
you? No, you yawned, I heard you.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did, don't believe.
I literally had no one yawn.
Yeah, no, you're.
Right. Whatever. Whatever.
I'm looking at the map and I'm thinking.
Oh, God.
I'm planning.
That's what I'm worried about.
No, yawned.
Okay. So the armor is now facing that way. It's going to turn its attention to Zenria and try and slam attack. So, first one. That's dodgy as hell the way that die landed. It's like it landed cocked, but it said it's a 13, so I'm going to have to take it. But it's 16 to hit total, and Zenria's armor class is 16. So that's a hit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Battlefield.
is it a hit? Yeah, it's a hit. That's a hit. Yeah, that's a hit.
Forgot
Did she?
Yeah,
Oh, she was using.
to double longsword slice.
To be fair, no, let's be fair. In this, she would have probably put the shield back on.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I didn't realise she didn't have the shield on. So, yeah, that would have been 18, so that's a miss. So, and another slam attack. That's the wrong thing. It's this one. There we go. So that's a 15. So no, that's also a miss. So it's just trying to pummel and not getting through a guard or a block. Belac, you're up.
Right. Quick question.
Quick
How the
answer.
Overseer is back to life. But I'm assuming he dropped the book when he went down.
Oh, I was clutching it quite tightly. So it's still sort of nestled in his arm.
Right. So I'm going to use my movement, get as close to him as I can, and try and take the book off him.
You wouldn't really be able to get to where he is. Because he's currently surrounded by Scion, a guard, and Ember.
Jump on the table.
If you jump on the altar, you wouldn't be able to grab the book. Put it that way.
No, I wouldn't. Right, so can I move into range so that I can see him then? I mean, you know, just move into a space where I can see him to use a spell on him then.
Yeah.
Right, I'll do that.
There.
And I will use Firebolt on him then.
Yeah.
Disadvantage. Ranged attack. Disadvantage. If they're prone.
No, wouldn't it cancel it out because of guiding bolt? So it'd just be a straight
So,
Thought what?
then,
Stop shouting.
when Titan...
I don't know. Does it fade when they go unconscious, Titan?
No, it only fades if it's not used by my next turn.
Okay, well, it's a straight roll
Oh,
then.
is it your turn and not nobody else's?
Yep.
Alright,
So it's a straight roll.
straight roll. Right. Don't matter, I missed 11.
Let me just double check. Yes. Just missed. So as he's sort of clutching the book now, he's sort of rolling over to try and get up. He just managed to miss with the bolt as it strikes the floor where he previously was. Titan, you're up.
Perfect timing.
Okay.
Unless you had a bonus, Belac. Guess not. Titan, you're up.
Right then.
No, I don't have a bonus.
I am going to use inflict wounds on the suit of armor.
Okay.
Okay, so this is again, it's a spell attack. And that is a 19 to hit.
A spell attack. So does that count as a ranged attack or a melee?
It's no, inflict wounds is range is touch,
So it's a melee.
but it's a melee spell attack
Right. Okay.
of 19.
That's a hit.
All right, 3d10 damage coming up.
What?
How is a level 1 character? So
Dealing this much?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Cleric spells are super powerful. I don't get many spell slots, but
You don't get many, but the ones that you do have are OP as hell.
right then, that is a 6 plus a 7, that is 13, plus another 6, that is a total of 19 points of damage.
Whoa.
Okie doke. Where are we? So yeah, as you, what type of damage is it?
Necrotic.
Necrotic. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, as you reach out, grasp it, you can see just blackness just course through it, and you see some of the rings start to split on the armor, as the damage is definitely done something not very nice to it, as it sort of flinches and you can't really tell because it's armor. But yeah, there you go. Is that your go?
Yeah, that's my go.
Right, has been, was been, is been, done been.
Will be.
Is anybody damaged at the moment, or are we all looking okay?
We all.
I'm good.
We know you are. I don't like playing many different characters. So, what should we do with a drunken sailor? Okay. So, that seems a bit rubbish. It might be a good one to do though. So he's going to back up a little bit away from the chilling suit of armor, and he's just going to hurl some random abuse at it and cast vicious mockery.
Hey.
I'll let you come up with an insult.
Okay, so he points to the suit of armor and says, your mum's so rusty that she named her son Rusty. That's the best I've got.
Oh, I've got one that one of my friends killed a mimic with.
Too late.
God damn.
Go on.
Your mum's so fat she has her own gravitational pull.
Oh, I'm bored of that one. I've heard that too many times.
Yeah,
Oh god, that was not right.
one of my friends killed a mimic with that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just knocked the wrong amount of damage off it. It caused 1 point of damage from that terribly, terribly, terrible insult.
Your mum's so rusty.
But
all of a sudden rusty.
it failed its wisdom save by a lot, put it that way.
Hmm.
So, next up. Oh, bonus action. For Hasbin, you can cast as many bardic inspirations as you want, can he?
Yes.
So he's going to play a little tune and
Sing a song.
and
Sing a song.
no, and inspire Zenria to try and hit better than she did last time. Oi, do better. Okay. I'll try. Where does inspiration go there? Okay. Right. That brings us to the Overseer.
He's gonna stand up and teleport away.
It's like, you can't take it from me!
Please, can we have it?
Not today! Stands himself up.
Can we have it tomorrow then?
Maybe next week.
Can we have it over the weekends?
I don't think
Library
so.
loan's gonna be over soon, boy.
I beg your pardon?
Library loan. Can we have it over the weekends?
Yes, what does this one do?
You have it during the weekdays and we have it over the weekends.
No.
That's fair, right?
Nope.
Please. Anyway, what day is it today? I want to know if we have the book.
I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay. It's gonna whip out. Yeah, I said whip
He's
out.
gonna whip out. He's just gonna do the whip.
It's gonna whip out a scroll
Use your web, yeah.
from his pouch,
Oh.
clutching onto the book, and as you see, he reads it out. A door appears behind him, and he steps through and vanishes.
Not again.
So on needs to counter spell.
But
Not yet.
yeah,
That's a level 9.
you do
spell.
still feel the tug somewhere above you, Belac.
Book.
Somewhere it's
Book.
yeah disappeared from where you were, and now it's somewhere above you.
This book.
I had the overseer right there. He was unconscious.
And that brings us to Ember.
Let's
Okay.
finish this off, guys.
I'm gonna
Upstairs.
produce flames on the guard.
Yeah, go for it.
So can I advance
the other
to
one's-
damage?
Do the one first.
Because that's a nat 20.
Not to damage.
Oh.
Not to damage.
Anyway, that's a nat 20.
Yeah, that probably hit. Yeah.
So that's that's 11 damage.
Did you do max for your first one?
Yes, because I rolled a 3 and
Okay.
then 8.
Yeah, I forgot that for Titan, but he's no overpowered hunk of junk anyway, so you know. So how much?
That's 30. No, 11.
11. So as you grab your flame, you release it bigger than normal, just straight towards it. Takes him right in the chest, burns right through, and he just collapses down right next to Scion. Hadoukened. Yep, completely. So they're both down because they are weaklings. Okay. Now we're back to Scion.
Actually, is anyone here?
Is it just the armor left?
Yeah.
Can I throw my trident from where I am to here, or will that hit,
You can certainly try.
Yeah, I'll go on.
What's the range?
Oh, I didn't think about that, hang on.
Yeah, that might be an idea, you know.
60 feet.
60 feet. Is it just straight up 60 feet? There's no disadvantage for throwing it longer?
Not that I can see. You might want to check, because... Yeah. Not that I can see.
Because noob. Noob
Yeah.
that's been playing D&D for years, but noob.
Yeah.
So it's 20 feet and then 60 feet is.
Oh yeah, so anything over 20 feet is disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And a long range is disadvantage, basically.
Do you want me to keep that first roll I did? And just roll
Yeah,
another one?
and just roll another one, yeah.
Oh!
Okay, so you keep the first hit, and as you lob your trident, just as Zenri is about to take a swing, you see this. She sees his trident just impact straight into the armor, just right in between the links or the rings or whatever it is. Yeah, it hit. Roll your damage.
free.
Fatted. 6+2, 3 points of damage. So yeah, it's just see it's stuck in its side now. And that's that. So, Zenria. I take it, do you want to do any movement or anything like that?
I'll head towards the armor as much as I
Okay.
can. Yeah, that's it.
Trident back.
20, 25, 30. Take it to there. So Zenria's just gonna swing round, so she's flanking it with Titan. She's gonna have a slash at it with the longsword. I need to have all these character pages open when I'm playing everybody because it just slows it down so much.
Yeah, that's what I do with my campaign. I just have everyone's
27 tabs open on Google because that won't slow my PC down at all.
It normally does it for me.
That's it, 2 slabs. 2 slabs? 2 tabs.
Slabs.
There you go. So that's a 21 as she slashes through its chain links, aiming for the same area where the trident is. Now try and, cut it free a little bit. And that is a whopping 5 points of damage. It's looking very, very damaged right now. Bits of it falling off, hanging limp. You can see more gaping holes appearing in the armor compared to what was there before. But it's going to now, having suffered this damage from those in front of it, it's going to try and batter at Zenria again. So, first slam attack is a 10, so she just whips the shield out, blocks the first one. Second one is an 11, as it's just battering down on her shield. She's like, yeah, whatever. Belac, you're up.
Right, I just want to move into, so I've got a clear view at the armor.
Yeah, you're probably talking around here somewhere. Maybe there, actually. Just next to where Scion is. There you go.
Good old firebolt.
Good old firebolt.
It's 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'd be a hit.
And that is whopping 1 damage.
So you light up your firebolt, fling it at it, just sort of impacts. You see one ring just ping off it, a little bit blackened. Titan. And that's your go, yeah, cool. Titan, you're up.
Right. I strike the suit of armor with my mace.
Oh, you run out of overpowered?
I only have 2 spell slots.
Go for it.
At this level. And that is a 9 to hit.
9 does not hit, so you finally
that's
you
much.
manage to hit a piece of the armor that is still solid, and it just takes it. It's like, sort of. Has been.
And that's
Oh,
it.
yeah, cool. Has been. What have you got? Anything or nothing?
Vicious mockery.
There is other stuff, but it's whether to. No, don't think there's any need for that. Yeah, next insult. Someone come up with an insult.
I've got a really good one.
I
You're
doubt
so
it.
old, your first trip
Right,
to
hang
the
on.
zoo was
Got a
the
list of them here.
You're so old, your first trip to the zoo was in the Jurassic period.
Not too bad. So that's a D4. 2 points of damage as it's slowly starting to crumble. It's looking very much like it's hanging on. But yeah, it's gonna stay there. And Ember, you're up.
Okay, I'll run as far as I can for my 30 feet of movement.
10, 15, 20. Probably get you to there.
And then just yeet flames at it.
Go for it.
Okay, that is dirty 20.
That is a hit.
And that deals 3 damage.
Tell me your killing blow.
So
Hey.
I just yeet the fire over top of everyone. It just, yeah, and it just lands on it, just engulfing the entire thing in flames, and it just melts.
Wow. That cantrip's more powerful than the cleric's one. Just melts the armor. So as you line up your shot...
Mine aren't cantrips.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. Basketball style, this little fireball, and as it's spinning, you see it getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and it just passes through where the hole is at the neck, and you just see it melt from the inside, and it just collapses in on itself as it's... And eventually there's just a little puddle of molten metal between...
Liquid metal!
Oh wait, the trident.
Okay. And the trident, as it's falling, just clatters to the ground, just end over end, not in the molten metal. Don't worry.
The trident also melts.
Yeah, the trident melts sauce. He tried, but didn't. And with that, combat is over. The guards cough out their last, bleeding away. What are you doing?
Stop living.
Stop it.
Do the guards have anything useful on them? I'd like to search.
Don't know. They've got some spears and some shields, bit of armor. One of them does indeed still carry a potion in its pouch.
Okay, I take the potion.
Okay. Yeah, it's a healing potion.
It's a healing potion.
Yeah. Fairly common, you recognise it.
Alright, well,
surmising from seeing the other one do that, it has the same, so yeah.
well, since I can't drink, someone else will get better use of this than me.
So I'd like to just go over and inspect the altar.
Okie dokie.
I would like to help.
Who's taking the healing potion?
One of the fighters.
I can have it. I don't mind.
Alright, Scion's taking the healing potion
Yeah,
then,
cool.
I guess.
That's what you get
No
for
one
being
else
here.
wants it.
It's what you get for being here. You get rewards.
So never miss a session. Or else.
That's the sound of the door creaking, by the way. Oh, I know what I should do. Never mind. Right, roll for inspection.
With advantage.
Inspection, I mean investigation.
Yeah, that. Tired, late.
12.
With advantage, because I'm helping.
You're no help. Yeah, roll again because, you know, you can't possibly miss out helping somebody.
God damn it,
Yeah, looking at the altar, it's definitely an altar. And there's still those two skulls there with candles stuck on them. But these look like the skulls of whatever it was that you saw in the previous rooms with their elongated snouts.
Right, well, I'm just gonna take my quarterstaff and smash the skulls.
Okay.
And as I walk away, I'm just gonna use the firebolt and set fire to the altar, if I can.
It's made of stone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
looks
I
like
wanna
one
help.
for me.
That's because it's not painted.
Right, okay,
It's like-
well, I won't bother then. I'll just
They're
smash
also-
the skulls.
Yeah, they're smashed. Candles pulverized. There are also two chests at this side of the room as well.
I'll
As-
search one.
So,
What do you mean search it?
I wanna
I'll
open
go and have a
one.
look at one
It's
of
locked.
those as well.
Both locked.
Both locked.
Yeah, solid wood chests with, you know, iron bands, but the iron's very well rusted.
Try and melt the lock.
Try and melt the lock.
Yeah.
How?
Produce flames.
Right, go for it. Roll for an attack.
What my dice works? I thought we were ending it.
Well, we were, and then you carried on.
Okay, that's.
So you're using.
Plus 6.
You what?
That's a 18 plus 6, that's a 22.
Are you doing it stood at the chest?
Yeah.
It's disadvantage then because it's melee.
Never mind.
Yeah, so it hits it. Roll for damage.
8.
You just hear a as the lock breaks, and you just see the chest pops open a little bit.
See, it worked, and then I open it.
Okay. So see a bag, a leather bag in there. Looks fairly solid.
I open it.
Coins.
How much?
If you're going to spend the time counting it, you got about 27 gold and 15 silver again in this old coinage. Looks
Right.
like some remnants of old clothing in there, and a strange silver dagger.
I'm gonna hide the silver dagger.
Okay.
So I can actually use it as well.
Make a sleight of hand.
God damn
It looks more ornate than weapon.
God damn it. That's a 5.
5. So, Belac, as you see Ember open up this chest and then go and have a look through, you see she takes this, what looks like some sort of silverish dagger, and she tries to hide it under her robes, into wherever, somewhere, put it in her belt. But she's definitely doing it sneakily, as if she's trying to keep something for herself.
Right, so I just shout across to her, oh, that's a nice shiny dagger that you found in there.
Yeah, I know it is.
Right, so I'll go across to the other chest then. Did you say
Okay,
the
okay.
locks were all rusty?
Yeah, it looks rusty, yeah.
Right, I'll just have a smash it with my quarterstaff.
Okay, roll for an attack.
Oh, I should have added my inspiration.
You didn't need
16.
to. Yep, that's a hit. So it lands right on the rusted and then gets some damage.
Right, which one is it? Two-handed? It's the bigger one, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, 3.
You see, it chips away some of the rust. It definitely did something, but it didn't pop the lock like the produced flame did.
Do you want me to try and open it?
Yep, but I'm looking in it.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
up.
that's fine with me. Okay, that is a 19.
Yeah, it's hit.
Oh, 21.
Yeah. Casts another flame. Smacks right into the lock.
And another 8.
Shatters it, and the lid just flies open. And as it flies backwards, it just snaps at the hinges and rolls off into the back, leaving contents exposed, ready for Belac to have a look inside. And this one,
I'm gonna peek over his shoulder. Just see what's in there.
you're not tall enough.
I'll peek under his shoulder. I'll peek
Um,
inside it.
some remnants of some old clothing, what looks like an ornate silver bowl of some sort, maybe about 2 hand widths.
How you got a bowl, I got a dagger.
like 2 hand widths wide, like that.
Yep.
With faded engravings, and it looks a little bit as if it's got some dark staining on it.
Oh.
Lick the staining, see if it's
But-
food.
But that's it.
Okay, right, I'll take that then.
As you grab the dagger, and each of you, as you grab the dagger in the bowl, you can see the clothes just sort of disintegrate slightly due to the age and the air getting inside, and just fall to dust. But yeah.
Right. So, I'll just go over to the others and show them the bowl that I've found.
Very nice.
I don't like
Very good, very
the looks of
nice.
what's inside it, though.
Very
Nice
good,
shot.
very
This
nice.
was some sort of ceremonial, sacrificial covering bowl.
Hello, Nicki Minaj.
And I show him the coin pouch and I said, there's more of the old, and I say, there's more of the old coins in here.
Your dagger, the dagger that you found, also has some sort of worn engravings along the blade.
Can I see if I know what they say?
You can certainly try.
Just straight roll.
Just roll and I'll decide.
11.
11. Religion or history? It's up to you.
So, 16.
Don't make any sense, unfortunately.
No, I'm hiding it so I can't ask
They are
for help.
fairly well worn as well, so with age and tarnished and possibly a lot of use whenever they were used.
But
So
I
yeah.
just put it in my other possessions as cool dagger.
So as you're doing this, you still feel that tug from up above.
Upstairs.
Well, not necessarily upstairs, but in the direction of up. But it seems to be slowly...
The direction of
direction of up, yes. Seems to be slowly, gradually just moving away.
I think we better read chaps. It looks like he's heading out somewhere.
He's put his house on balloons.
And with that, we shall end tonight's session. Because that took a little bit longer than I expected.
That was really fun.
But if you are still there watching, we do appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I must carry on chatting with Scarlet because we get proper involved in this. So yes, good night, God bless. We'll see you next time. Hopefully the whole party will be here so I don't have to play many roles.
I can't, sadly, because
Oh yes,
I've
of course.
got a gig.
You've got a gig. Yeah, you're being all important and stuff. God damn it. That's cool. Well, we'll see who else does or doesn't appear next week as to whether we carry on or not. You know the rules. 2 or more. If we've got 3 or more away, then we don't. But if it's 2 or less, then we do. So yes. Chowder! How you doing? Right, but that's it for tonight. So good night. We'll see you next time, guys. Laters.
Bye.